G'day guys, welcome back to The Wire, the best SuperCoach Draft show in the land, potentially the only SuperCoach Draft show in the land. Joined once again this week by my two sidekicks. I'll bring you in first, mate. What's been happening, brother?
Oh, I've just been losing games left, right and centre. Having one of the best teams in the comp, but mate, it's just tough at the moment. It is, honestly, it's a dog's breakfast.
Another year of the world versus Walker.
Oh, fuck off.
Natty, doing? Good to see you too, mate.
Yeah, look, happy as Larry, baby. I'm the opposite. I'm winning games.
Burgling games.
Burgling games. I am the SuperCoach Draft burglar. I am the Danny Ocean of SuperCoach Draft at the moment. Winning games I shouldn't have, but all the same, wins are wins, and I'll fucking take them.
How good. We got tonight's episode brought to you by Bloke in a Bar. Go out, grab yourself a case this week. Obviously, I got stuck into a few blokes for Origin last night, as I'm sure most of you did. Pretty sad night for me.
Does it taste good mixed with tears?
It's a little bit salty, isn't it?
It'll be a little bit salty, I reckon.
Are you a Queenslander? Mm-hmm. You're a Bears fan, but you're...
Some of the best Bears have played for Queensland. Thank you very much.
I wouldn't have a clue. I haven't seen the Bears in years.
I don't think we're old enough to watch them play.
You are. Fuck, you are.
It's true.
Who are we talking? The great Greg Florimo?
Well, no, he was a New South Welshman.
Oh, was he? Jason Taylor?
Brett Dallas.
Yeah, New South Welshman.
Matty Sears.
Brett Dallas, yeah.
Gary Larson.
Matty Sears.
Gary Larson.
Who?
Billy Moore.
Who?
Gary Larson.
Tell you a story about Gary Larson.
I was going to say, please, stop the fucking show.
Yeah. I was at the Easter show.
Calls himself the rugby league guru.
10 years old. And you know, they have like those pass the ball competitions, one of those going on. I still remember it was the old Nutrigrain footies. It's like 5 kids and I was in it and handy passer of a football.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting.
I managed to get the W and I'll never forget. The guy that was running it was Gary Larson, but I had no fucking idea because he's a Bears player. Like, who the fuck would know? Who,
exactly.
You know,
when was the last time they were in the comp?
The North Sydney Fossils. I just had no fucking idea who he was. And I'll never forget, he turned around to say, "Well done," and his voice scared the living shit out of me.
Scary man.
He's got the deepest fucking voice of all time. Terrifying.
You want to see an Origin performance? Watch that 1995 series in Gary Larson. It is fucking impressive.
The boy could play.
Baby.
Now, as your comp is the wild, wild west of the SuperCoach Draft world, there has been a little bit going on the last few weeks. A couple of bets flying around, and might hand over to you, mate.
Yeah, so Walker and I played each other for the second time this year last weekend, so round 13. Big buy round, and we were fucking obliterated with blokes missing in our teams. It ended up being 4 versus 4, so we dubbed it the 4x4 bet, and winner gets to develop a team presser that the loser has to read out tonight. We'll get to in a second. But so it was my Ezra Mam, Luke Metcalf, Greg Marzu, Adam Elliott versus Walker's Jack DeBellin, Hop God, Dallin Watini-Zalesniak, and Matty Tomoko. You look at those two teams and you go, geez, he hasn't got a chance. I mean, he's up against it here, really. Only a true fucking champion would be able to bring a win home in this matchup. And it was all done and dusted. It really was. It was done. I had conceded defeat before the great Greg Marzu laced his boots on with the captaincy on him. And
Who'd you VC?
Mam.
You didn't take DWZ, obviously.
No, he's got DWZ.
Oh, you got DWZ.
I picked up DWZ as a plug and play for the week.
Yeah, nice.
Fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
And I was like...
I mean, all of your players nailed it. 54, 148.
Yeah, Tomoko killed it.
28. And I was up against it because Mam got 48. Metcalf got 35. I was fucked, really. Marzu had to score 3 tries. In all honesty...
If you had to score 2, I would have won.
Yeah. 2 tries and I would have lost. But the great man
That's not what
through.
You do, though. Not cut from that losing cloth like others. Just get the job done, you know?
Yeah, special.
Special stuff.
Special. I'm made of,
you're special in inverted commas, mate. Like, don't even start.
Quiet.
You
Quiet
you're
loser. Quiet loser.
Oh,
Quiet.
Fucking Jesus.
So, ended up being 409 to 358 and another win burgled. So, without further ado, this is for you, mate. Bet's a bet. Read it. Make it serious.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. I want to start by apologising to our fans, members, and sponsors. That performance on the weekend was subpar, and we need to be better moving forward. Also, I want to apologise to my family, friends, and close ones for being a subpar man. I am a weak, gutted dog. Every year it's the same thing. Draft goes well. Pre-season is impressive. We rack up the wins in the first few rounds. Then things get a little wobbly. And we ultimately fail in the finals. And I don't see things being any different this season. The media has dubbed this the Walker Wobbles. And you could say it's 100% accurate. Because I'm wobbly as fuck at the moment. The Eskimo Bros are a far superior team and have always been. They are the gold standard in the league and are coached by the greatest super coach in the game's history, except for JK. If I was smart, which I'm obviously not, I would endeavour to replicate everything Natty does because he is the embodiment of success in SuperCoach Draft. And let's be honest, in life in general. That's 2 losses in both our games versus the Eskimo Bros. And while I'm not surprised, Natty is an absolute genius and will no doubt collect the trophy for the 2023 season. In closing, I would like to say, please listen and follow our stats. Don't just listen to me. Listen to Natty. Taking SuperCoach advice from me is one of the biggest G-ups of all time. I am an atrocious coach, and I reflect on this every morning when I sit down to piss out of my baby penis. I am an absolute embarrassment. Thank you, and up the Eskimo Bros.
Well said. Well said.
Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just brave.
Look,
Honest.
a bet's a bet. And if losing a bet means I need to lie through my teeth, I'll do it.
Brave, honest,
I
just
think I
really
could
accurate.
see some hard truths hitting him.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout
He was
that.
pausing at points and
Yeah,
just going,
there was a few.
ooh, this has got me. This has got me
got me in the
here.
field.
Well, I mean, like I was pausing in certain locations where the
'Cause you
grammar
couldn't
wasn't
read.
really there. It was like, but look, well done. You got the win.
See you in the finals.
Captain the right man. Yep.
What
Well
hurt
done.
you the most there?
What's up?
What hurt you the most there?
Marjorie's second try.
No, I meant
none of that
I meant the
hurt.
presser.
Nah, none of that hurt.
Nah, some of that hit you.
Water off a duck's back. I do a podcast.
Tears down
I
a
do a
duck's cheek,
podcast
mate, I
with
could
Pelican
see it.
every week, as if a little presser like that's going to hurt me.
It's good.
How good?
Yeah, good work.
All right. Now, Wook, should we get stuck into your team, mate?
Yeah, mate. Look, I'm more than happy. So, look, start of the season.
I noticed the first sentence of your notes are excuses.
Oh no, look.
No shock to anyone, but
I mean, no,
We
it's
can
not an
start with them if
excuse.
you
It's setting a benchmark to just show how much I've come from. So, lost Jaden Brayley, obviously. Lost Adam Dewey as well, both ACLs.
We covered
But-
this last show.
Oh no. But I hadn't won the 2 player bets at that point. So, done some player bets, done some big player bets, end up winning Cam Munster and the other Brayley. My plan B, Blake Brayley. So I also picked up Hayes, Perham, and Jack DeBellin via waivers as well.
so fucked.
So
JDB is such a good pickup.
that has been my absolute saviour because my front row forward was I can't remember who I started with.
Call him out, Wook. What do you got? What's your team?
So hooker Blake Brayley, my front row forwards Jack DeBellin and Christian Welsh. My 2RF options are Jermaine Hopgood, Teague Wilton, Angus Crichton, and Johnny Bateman as well on the bench. Halfback, DCE, 5'8", Cam Munster. My CTW options are Matty Tomoko, Val Holmes, Sifa Talakai, and Hayes Perham, who is obviously dual. And then the man of the moment, Turbo. Can't do it in an Origin, but hopefully he can do it for the rest of the season.
It's a very good team. And I'll say that through gritted teeth. But it is a very well-rounded side there. Doesn't worry me because you will fail in the finals. But as I see it at the moment, it does look like a very strong, well-rounded team.
Where did you draft Matty Timoko?
I lost a bet, and I lost Tupou, and I received Timoko.
That's worked out pretty well.
It's worked out fantastically. So even when I'm losing, I'm still winning.
Mate, we were just a year early on Matty Timoko, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I was still happy with him last year. He did well,
Yeah.
but this year
Yeah.
was the year to have him.
Yeah.
He's a guy. I don't know. There's me and another guy in my comp who, on draft day, well, he said the same thing happened to him. I remember I was looking for Matty, typed in his name, didn't come up. I reckon the same thing happened to him, and then about 3 rounds later, he went. And he's had a really good season.
Yeah.
It's killed me. There's 2 players that happened to him and Isaiah Cartel, which hasn't worked out well. Dodged that one. But yeah, Matty Timoko has been a fantastic. I think I ended up with Seb Chris instead of him in the end, which hasn't been.
Because the way that he finished the 2021 season, Matty Timoko, was really strong. Like, there was a few games at the back end of that season where he looked like Brian
Yeah, he only
To'o.
played a handful of games.
In
looked
the lead up to the finals, it was looking like it was a flip of the coin as to whether Chris or Timoko was going to be that.
He was breaking
that
7
really-
tackles a game, and I was like, who is this kid?
Yeah,
He's
turned
an
into like
out
a
and out
proper
strike
strike
centre.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Proper strike.
Oh, Jesus. That was disgusting.
He has been shown up in defence a bit though.
Yeah.
That
he has had his
is one
moments,
thing
yeah.
that I have noticed.
Yeah, has had his moments, definitely.
Yeah.
Mate, the rest of your team, though, very, very strong. I can't believe you got Jack DeBellin off the waivers. That's outrageous. Obviously, your grand final's in round 26, so even Hopgood bye doesn't matter to you, does it? You got no bunnies in there, so you're cruising for grand final
I got
week.
no bunnies or Broncos strategically, so
The big thing for you is Turbo.
Broncos are around 25, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. And then the week before that
is Cows, I think. Cows 24 and then Bulldogs 23.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So you'll be without Val in a week that probably won't matter if you win. Well, assuming you make the top 4, which you probably won't. That's probably a poor assumption by me. If you were Natty, you probably wouldn't have to worry about it. But
Our comp is so close that I'm 1 win away from top 4.
yeah, but you're also 1 win away from
From not making the finals at all.
reading out 10 weeks of press conference.
To be honest, I'm already there.
How close is the comp? Like, where are you sitting at the moment?
I'm sitting at 8th.
8th?
Need top six berth to get in the finals.
Oh, so it is a top 6.
Top 6, yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, I said it.
I thought it was, yeah.
Yep.
I know more about comp than you'll do. So you're out of the finals
I
at
never
the
have to
moment.
worry
At the
about
moment,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
If the
Wild
finals were
for
next
like
week,
the best team, as you keep claiming.
It is wild.
Yeah.
Does not make sense at all. But
Give you the hot tip. The best team in my comp isn't missing finals.
It's a long way to the finals, champion.
Yeah.
we champed you.
I know. Tell me about it.
Fucking hell. We've hit a nerve. Pulls out the champ. Hey,
Champion early.
when we get the champ,
Sun's
getting
still
called
up
out.
and he's champion. I love that. I'm here for it.
Woo!
Oh, jeez.
Jesus. How many people are in the comp? 12.
12. Yeah. So we've got one
So
on.
not only are you not in the top 6, you're in the bottom 4.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
We've got 1 on 18, 2 on 16, me. And then we've got 1 on 14 and 4 on 12. And
Are you
Walker's
one of the
them.
12s?
Yeah.
One of the 12s.
And you guys go off for and against or just points scored?
Points scored.
Where are you sitting as far as that goes? Is
I don't know.
Let me have a look. Click this button here. He is 7th.
Yeah. So, not great.
I don't know if you can claim the best team in the comp.
Well,
I mean, you're in the bottom.
I was without a 5'8" and a hooker for about most of the season.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know.
Set that lure out. It doesn't. He's right. It doesn't compute.
It doesn't compute in any
Yeah.
way, shape, or form.
No.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I love you, mate, but like, we got to be honest here.
Yeah. We can only.
it's an
talk-
honesty session, isn't it?
We can only talk about the facts that are in front of us.
Yeah.
And you look horrible.
Like, if you were leading your comp on points scored by, I don't know, 500, like my team, then maybe you could claim.
Isn't he setting himself up?
Then
Well-
maybe you could claim you got the best side, but I don't know.
But if you do win your comp, won't your win have an asterisk next to it?
Oh, yeah. Well, normally if the rest of the guys want to put it there, but none of them are talking to me. I don't have any friends left.
Will they
so
let
I'll
you-
have to put the asterisk on myself.
Who has the trophy in your league at the moment?
Who has... it's going to be
Will
hard
you,
to get it
will
off
you
me.
ever get it?
Now I
If
think
you
about it. It's going to be very, very tough to get it off him, mate. He's a champion fella. but he's not very happy with me, I don't think. So it's fair enough, but well, not really. But anyway, we'll get to that very soon.
Yep.
But look, I really like your side. I think it's strong across the park. Obviously, Manly, very heavy, isn't it? DCE.
Yeah.
And Turbo.
Yeah,
Turbo's the big one. Like, if Turbo can perform like he did the other week, and you've got that as a VC or captain option every week, very hard to beat. And the reason you're in the position you are at the moment is because of how poor Turbo has been.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So
and
it's literally
I've been
the one guy you need.
I went through a bit of a run of captaining him, thinking he's going to turn it around.
Yeah.
I stopped doing it about a month ago, and then he pulls out the 160. And I actually lost the round because I didn't.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a tough old season so far. But I'll turn it around. I always do.
I love it's going to be you and me riding Tommy Turbo come finals time.
I'll be riding him hard.
Now, one guy I want to ask you about,
Yes.
and when I have a look at your team, it doesn't overly matter if this guy potentially drops off a little bit, but one guy that I would be seriously considering selling high, especially when I look at your team, would be Wilton.
Yeah. I brought him in purely because I doubled down on the stack of Talakai.
Yep.
And, yeah, you're right. I'm a bit too heavy on the Sharks. And I'm also too heavy on my 2F options.
It's not a bad thing, though. Sharks are...
Sharks are a good team to have.
Yeah.
I will
And
say
their
on
run.
that stack, though,
they
never combine.
No.
that's true. Yeah.
No. But the one good thing is so Wilton will score all right when Talakai plays.
Yeah.
We saw that when Talakai was out and Tracy was in, a lot of the players that would normally double mark up on Talakai, leave a bit of space for Wilton, didn't happen when Tracy was in the side. So has been a dip of the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks on Wilton's scores. And now's not the right time to sell him. I'm going to be waiting a couple of weeks to start to put the lines out for either Wilton or Bateman or someone.
Bateman's playing well, and it's only a matter of time until Angus Crichton surely gets big minutes, right?
Surely, you'd have to think so. Yeah.
So
It's one of those. It's one of the 2RFs that I'm trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Are you worried about Wilton's defence at all? Because I was.
I was worried at the very start of the season, and when you looked at the stats of how many missed tackles there were through that corridor,
that whole left
I was
edge.
still very concerned.
Yep.
None of that's changed.
It hasn't improved at all.
No, it hasn't improved, and that's what I mean. It hasn't improved.
Yeah.
And it's still a concern, and I think it'll take a couple of lost games in a row, and they might look to maybe do what they were doing last season, starting Wade Graham there, having a bit of impact with Wilton through that corridor.
Yeah.
So
What about
because when I look at the rest of your side, like you've obviously got Angus, you've got Johnny Bateman, so you don't really need Wilson. I think you could get a good price.
It's the cover. I've got the cover there.
Yes.
So I'm not rushing into a decision, but yeah, I probably do have to move on one of those three because I made the decision to keep Hopgood. I was going to be shopping him around.
Let's talk about Hopgood because obviously great to have at the moment because they're light in the forwards and he's getting big minutes. But RCG to return, Joe Offers come into this side. Obviously Maddo's injured at the moment. Lane's out. What happens when all of these fucking forwards come back?
And the rise of Wirra McGreg. As well.
100%.
And that's the
100%.
thing that's caused me a bit of concern is obviously with Maddo coming back, they're playing him through the middle a bit. I mean, they've shown that Hopgood can play out the 80. He starts to slip off tackles and all that sort of stuff. So they've been managing his minutes a bit better.
What was he playing when everyone was sort of fit? Was he hovering around the 60-minute mark or maybe a little bit less?
Yeah, the start of he played 80 the first few weeks, but Maddo, they haven't really ever had their full side.
No.
Especially now that you add Joe O to it.
100%.
Exactly.
That's
We
what I'm
don't know
saying.
what it
Like
looks
in the
so
back
it's-
end of the season when everyone's back, RCG, Greg's playing well, Paulo,
Even
Maddo,
once you get
Lane,
Sean
Cardi,
Lane back,
yeah.
Maddo, and then Bryce has got to find a spot, and there is just a lot of mouth. The one advantage you have is that Brendan Hands, you would have to assume, holds on to his spot.
Yeah.
But he's another one that I think could be a good little sell high.
100%. That's what I'm sort of getting at here. Have a look and keep an eye on the injury team list and just have a look at when these Parramatta forwards are coming back and start selling or shopping him around before these guys get back. Because he is going to continue to score above 70 at the moment. With the minutes he's getting, it's just sheer mathematics, the amount of tackles and runs he makes. So
If Crichton was starting at the moment, I'd definitely be looking at shopping around Hopgood. It's just I can't have my fallback option on the bench for TRF to be a bit part player.
Well, and I think as well, if you're in a comp like mine and you're chasing wins at the moment, geez, I reckon Hopgood would be a fantastic get for you. Yeah. Especially if it's a comp like mine, the grand final is round 27, you go to the guy who's got Hopgood and say, hey, if he's cruising and up the top, which he probably is because he's fucking got
for
Hopgood.
sure.
yes.
Unless you're the guy in my comp, shout out to him. You would go to him and be like, hey, you're not going to have him for grand final week. And if you can have him for the next few weeks while there are injuries and all this, he plays the 2 major bye rounds. He's probably the safest captain across those weeks. You know he's going to play big minutes.
And Parramatta also have a really good strength of schedule over the next.
over the
rounds or
next few rounds, but obviously through the finals,
Yeah, it's really bad.
dog shit.
Yeah, really.
And that's where if you were to get
Absolutely
him this week, you could take advantage of the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And if you were smart.
And if you need wins
you've got
now-
the right dumbass in your comp.
Yeah. If you
can
need
really
wins
sell
now,
him
you don't
high
give a
again.
fuck about finals and strength of schedule. You need wins now to make the finals.
Yeah.
So now matters more than the finals.
He's a very, very important piece over the next few weeks.
It's going to be
on him.
very interesting how that all plays out.
I like the team though, man. I think you're well placed. I love Sifa Talakai.
He actually pops up as one of the best pickups for rounds 26 and 27 for both of those grand final weeks. So if your grand final is in round 27, check out Sifa Talakai.
He's quietly going about his business, Talakai, isn't he?
As per 63 average.
Yeah.
He's done fuck all.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
got one try. One try.
Yeah.
And we know how devastating he is.
Yep.
So
And I mean, what is it, round 14? If you take out that one try, you're probably looking at a 60 average, realistically.
I'm stoked that he's back. There was no information about that neck issue.
Yep.
So I'm stoked to see him back, but raises a bit of a question like, what are the Sharks going to do with Connor Tracy? Has there been any word around about that?
A lot of rumours around a few weeks ago that he was leaving. He obviously hasn't yet.
Yeah.
No. That's sort of fallen on deaf ears now, isn't it? It's sort of.
And that's the other thing I do wonder if they are going to. The other thing is they re-signed this week Atkinson. He's been killing it down there in Cup, and he did really well in the trials. I think he played for Italy in the World Cup from memory. He was very talented. But I also wonder, and with Teague Wilton as well, and it helps because you got Talakai, but I wonder if maybe the time comes where they maybe consider Tracy at left centre, moving Sifa 1 in.
Yeah. I do like that.
Tracy's so good.
He's so fucking good.
He's one of my massive man crushes. I
Yeah.
fucking love him.
He could genuinely play any position.
Yep.
And brain it.
And for someone that's built a little bit closer to the ground like myself, how hard he seems to be to handle in contact.
That's what I mean. He can
It's
play
fucking-
any
it's
position,
fucking
any
wild.
physicality
Yeah.
he can be part of.
And
insane.
the hit ups, the tackles, like everything is bang on. He would be a starting anything in any other team, I reckon.
Yeah.
5'8" halfback, centre, wing, fullback, doesn't matter. He'd be in the starting 13.
And the way that he throws his body into contact, when you consider he's been through 3 ACLs, he's got the ticker about him too, Connor.
Very friendly SuperCoach game.
Yeah, for sure.
Very friendly.
I don't think if he doesn't have any of those ACLs, I don't think Sifa Talakai is starting.
No.
I think he's a bench option.
Yeah.
Sure.
And when he did have all those ACLs, for those that don't know, like he was a halfback at South Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've told the story before. I was at Redfern one day watching South train, and I was watching Tracy and Walker, but I was a fair distance away. I thought he was Adam Reynolds, just the way he was leading them around. I didn't realise till the end of the session that it wasn't Adam Reynolds.
Yeah.
He's a very, very talented guy.
When has he
Connor
come
Tracy.
in for the Sharks, no matter what the position, because you've seen him play a lot of positions for the Sharks, come in and fill a gap. When has he not impressed?
Yeah, he's impressed every single time.
Every single fucking time.
I always say on the Monday pod, he can come in on any given week and be the best CTW in the team.
For sure. For sure.
It's wild.
And like, how valuable would that be to a team?
Yep. Yeah. When you also consider that Craig Fitzgibbon took over the Sharks, he brought Ikavalu, who very talented guy as well, with him. When was the last time you heard that name?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's just sitting behind Connor and he can't get a gig.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. And, like, obviously we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's happening. There are whispers that he's going to move on. Eels have been thrown up. And, look, if you've got an extended bench and you've got space to carry some stashes, it's not a bad play.
Did you draft Johnny Bateman?
Yes.
Where'd you draft him?
I think I drafted him maybe around 6.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I only drafted him because he went later than I was
He
expecting.
was there. Yeah.
I was expecting him to go around 4 or 5, end up picking him up a bit later. So
60-point average, obviously a good average. Have you been happy with him? I haven't watched him overly
he started real
closely.
slow.
Yep.
He started extremely slow, and he's had a couple of big games. And look, you know what you're going to get from him,
Yeah.
and that's unpredictability in attack. It's fucking good. He's hard to handle. He's got a decent base on him, and he's shown that he's got upside.
Good fun to watch too. Like
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
guy to
Oh,
have
yeah.
in your team that you're watching the weekends. You're like, yeah, fuck, I've got Bateman playing today. This is good. You know?
Well, this year is the first time ever in our comp that he's been owned by anyone but me.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
In the
right.
first 2 years.
he's your boy,
Which I
he's
was
your baby.
fucking stoked with. And I did the same thing. The first year he arrived, I remember I looked at training pictures and went, he's too small. He won't make it in the NRL. But then we got to round 6 or 7 and he was sitting there as a 2RF CTW and I thought, you know, I don't think it's going to work out. But fuck it, if it does, I've got myself a gun there.
He's that
He was a
Mungo
top 10
strong,
player
isn't
that
he?
year.
He's like, you know, that
so
guy
good.
you see at the pub that just dusts everyone. You
Dusts
go,
everyone.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, insane. I'm a big fan of Johnny Bateman. I'm really happy to see it start to turn around for the Tigers.
Yeah,
I genuinely
It
am.
was.
I think everyone
tough-
was cheering him on that
It was
night.
tough to watch, like beforehand. Like they,
Yeah,
Brutal.
yeah,
they found every single way to lose.
yeah.
All right.
It was like watching the no.
Let's rip the
Anything
fucking
else you want
Band-Aid
to touch
off
on?
here.
Just a bit of a shout out. Unsung hero is Hayes Perham. Like he's going about his business
Under
quite
the
well this
radar.
season. Very under the radar. Still not sure if he's a out and out fullback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's definitely doing a role this season in Supercoach.
We were sitting on the Bloke Show the other day, and Timmy's got a few ins to the Bulldogs.
Oh yeah,
Got
yeah.
a few friends that work there and everything. Anyway, we're sitting there on the Monday show.
Ockenbaugh a big buy.
Well, yeah, I think so. He's an interesting one. But we're sitting there, and Timmy he said something along the lines of, Hayes Parham's been good, hasn't been fantastic from an NRL perspective. And he said, it wouldn't shock me if Braden Burns takes his spot. And I went, what? And in my head, I'm thinking, Timmy knows something here about Canterbury. And it was just a off-the-cuff comment.
Wow.
Anyway, I was doing my waivers, and I completely forgot about it. And Braden Burns is sitting there. And I text him, he doesn't answer, and I'm like, fuck, no, I need an answer, bro. Like, I need to know. So I'm ringing him.
And we all know on this show that Burnsy is a fucking gun.
Yes, and that's what I was thinking. Anyway, so I eventually get onto him, and I'm like, hey, really sorry, it's like 11 o'clock at night at this point.
Fuck
I'm
it
like,
up.
hey, I'm doing my waivers. You mentioned Braden Burns to play fullback potentially, and he's like, what? I was like, you know, you mentioned on Monday, and he's like, I literally never said that. And I was like, I'm pretty sure you did. He's like, you're definitely hearing things. And I was like, what the fuck? I went back and watched the tape. He never said it. I don't know where I picked it up.
What?
But yeah, I heard it, and I was like, oh, hello.
Is
And I
this-
thought about it for like 2 days. I just,
That's fucking
Wow.
weird.
heaps weird. Yeah, so if he does get named at fullback,
Is this some sort of like interstellar
Maybe.
shit where like
Yeah.
future gurus come back, he's whispering sweet nothings in your ear?
Mate, I can still remember sitting there and hearing him say it. Like I can remember it, but it never happened.
There you go.
So fucking weird.
Pick up Burnsy.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So if he wouldn't have answered the
Interstellar.
phone, I would have drafted Braden Burns the other night because I still think it happened. I don't have any tape of it, but wild.
Wow.
I don't know how we got there from Hayes Perham, but I thought that was a funny story. So
Fuck
Mate,
it,
I'll back it. I'll back it. Get,
Back it in,
get
why not?
Burnsy in. I love backing things like
all right, now
that. Oh, fuck.
I made a big trade.
There's no drama with your team at all, is there?
No drama at all. Do you want to take this or?
Yeah, I'll take this.
Okay, sure.
I'll take this. So first up, do we talk about the pink elephant in the room and about
Yep.
this unholy trade that took place in your league that look, the boys in your league aren't happy about it. And that is being quite soft about it, let's be honest.
That's fair.
Okay. So I'll let you take it away.
There's talk of rule changes purely because of
blow-ups. The
the-
blow-ups.
the fuckwittery that you've gone through in your league.
To be fair, in my league, this only happens every 2 trades.
Every time you trade.
fine.
Friendships have been lost. I mean, now tell me the trade, who's in, who's out, and let's dissect this.
Okay, so
And I'll tell you why it's unfair.
yeah. So in my comp, I consider it was round 12. I drafted really well. Out of the top 8, I had 4 of the guys. 4 of the top players in the comp. So one of them being Natty Cleary, which was obviously first pick, so that was an easy one for me. One of them being Cody Walker, who was my second pick. As you all know, I was very high on Cody Walker in the preseason. A long way away. So Cody Walker, Natty Cleary.
Yep.
I then had Jermaine Asako. who I drafted round 16, 17, who I didn't expect to be this good. If he was half as good as what he is, I would have been stoked with it. And then I also had Campbell Graham.
Yep.
So I was in a position where I was sitting at the top of the ladder. I had all these guns. I could move them around a little bit if I wanted to. And I used some of the great rubdown strategies to go and look at the ladder, see who needs wins. Just happened to be one of my good mates, which was fine.
Playing the man.
Who lives off the grid a little bit to some extent. Playing the man. We'll talk about it very soon. So I reached out, and we spoke about it for 3 or 4 weeks. So everyone in my... And he's got Turbo and Kalen Ponga.
Yep.
And the day we drafted him, the day he drafted them, we all went, oh, my God, what a roller coaster. They're going to be injured. They're going to be knocked out, blah, 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 which was... fair banter at the time because it was all spot on.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him and I still is 100%. I said, hey, you're going to need to win over the next few weeks. I don't know how long you want to rely on these guys to be conscious, but I could give you 2 top 10 players and I'm happy to take that gamble on those guys. So what we ended up finally settling on was I gave him Cody Walker, Jermaine Osako and Wilton.
Yep.
In exchange, I got Turbo, KP and... I said to him, the third player can be anyone you want. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
It's a throwaway.
It's effectively a 3 for 2.
Yeah. But he gave me Katoni Staggs, which in our comp is a pretty decent player to get.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But that was out of my control. That was a throwaway. He chose to give me Katoni Staggs, so that was on him. But obviously Katoni Staggs wasn't really the issue in all this. So my argument was that, yes, I'm getting Turbo, who's a comp winner.
So who's
KP, who not a comp winner, but is, on his day is a top pick.
Is equivalent to probably Cody Walker.
If fit and available.
Pre-season.
Yeah. So, so I got those 2. And obviously I gave away Cody Walker, who's a top 5 player at the moment.
And why, I'll just stop you there. Why did you want to trade out Cody Walker? This will be good. Tune in.
No. To be honest with you, he does have that buy, which I don't love.
Yep.
So that was part of the reason. But I also... Part of me just loves the opportunity to be in a 14-man comp and in the same season have Turbo and Cleary.
Oh, it's definitely the
fun. That is ridiculous.
I personally think I am, and you might push back, but I reckon I am less chance to win the comp now than what I was 3 weeks ago before this trade.
I remember us sitting here in this very spot and bringing up that Cody Walker does have that buy in round 26 and
has the buy and Roosters in 27.
Roll the tape, but Guru, I think the quote was, "I don't give a fuck."
Completely fair.
Then he went home and went, "Hang on, but the boys are smart. The Rubdown boys are smart. I need to fucking think about this," and that's okay. Sometimes it takes.
But now
a while.
let me put it to you two.
we could wind back the tape even further for when he said he was a bust.
If someone offered you Turbo for him, would you say no?
I would 100% take Turbo every day.
Yeah, every day of the week.
Because that's what draft's about.
Yeah.
He is, like you said, he is a comp winner, and it is about taking risks and gambles, and that's the most enjoyable aspect of draft.
You're never going to win a comp if you don't take risks.
There is no fun, and this is what I don't get about people drafting their teams and sitting on them all year, and that's all that happens. Like, where's the fun in that? The reason you play draft is to trade and to do the study that you did with your mate and look at where he is and his injuries and how many wins he needs and, be a little bit conniving and think about it and fucking write things down.
By the sounds of the trade, it was a bit more than a little conniving.
Yeah, well,
there's that. There is that argument.
There's trade and then there's trade rate.
Yeah.
Which one does this lean to, you reckon, Natty?
Well, I mean, if we have a look at how it's played out, Turbo Turbo didn't play last week. He got knocked out last night. He's going to play 2 of the next 6 games.
Yeah.
Which was part of the argument that he had to win games of football to make the finals at the moment. Everyone's... And I think what upset people is that it was Jermaine Osako, because no one looks at Jermaine Osako as a Supercoach gun. But it's been 13 fucking weeks. It hasn't been 2.
Yeah.
I traded him and he scored 100 last week again. Like, he is a quality Supercoach player.
So long as Jermaine Osako isn't playing fullback, he's a gun.
I'm just winding you up. It's fine.
I would love to see him play.
No. Have you watched him play fullback
when
he's
a
played for the
different
Broncos?
footballer now. You're coming from a Broncos perspective. You're always going to fucking hate him. He
was awesome.
Now.
He was awesome when he was on the wing, but he's always had the errors and stuff.
Yeah.
He's wiped those out of his game.
I'd be happy to see him play fullback under Wayne.
Yeah. The thing is,
Yeah,
and
that
we talked
probably
about,
is a difference, to be honest.
we talked about this in the green room before recording. It's like if both parties are happy and they are well informed and they know what they're doing and they know what they're going in for, then there shouldn't be a third party. So
The only third party that should be involved is the commissioner.
Yeah.
To approve the trade.
yeah,
And look, the commissioner thought I was winning 100%.
someone's always got to win the trade.
That's exactly right.
When there is an instance where someone is not, there's no one wins. Like
exactly right.
someone has to win the trade.
Well, in
and it
some
might be a
so-
case that someone wins now.
That's what I was
but
about to say, yeah.
But the win is for the other person is later on down the season.
And in that way, both parties win because you're winning at the back end of the season, whereas oh mate, that you
And a lot of the boys in my comp took the argument that they're going to assume Turbo and KP are fully fit. Which you can't do that.
You are taking a lot of risk.
You're taking a lot of risk. And
Yep.
respectfully to those guys, that's why you didn't draft them.
Yep.
Because you didn't want to take that risk.
And let's be honest, people that are upset about trades, and this happens in every league, people that are upset about trades that occur are just jealous that they're not involved.
Oh, yeah, and I back that 100%.
Yeah.
And the reality is, I think a lot of what it came down to, I have Nathan Cleary, people didn't want me to have Turbo as well. And I get that.
Yep.
But you can't not want people to trade because they drafted a good team.
No, otherwise no one trades. Like
Which already in our comp, no one really does.
yeah, and this will probably make things a little bit harder to trade now because of the blowups.
Do you think you'll ever be able to trade in your league again?
You will not. Be
I will, but it'll be chaotic and dramaful and everything.
Actually,
Which
I
is
want
fine, mate. I love it. I fucking love it. I think it's
on
fun.
one of your podcasts, I forget what it was, but fuck, it had me roaring. I'd even rewound it and to listen to it again. But you said like, I haven't traded in a while. This will probably be the last trade I do. Actually, let's be honest, it's probably the last trade I'll ever do in this league. And I was like, oh,
So good.
big stakes, big stakes.
But I guarantee you, if Turbo and KP get injured, I will cop more shit than anyone, as I should, because I would have thrown away a comp by then. As I said, I think I'm more likely. What are the chances of Turbo and KP, do you think, staying fit for the rest of the year?
Oh,
It's low.
Yeah.
It's low.
It's low.
What do you think the
Not
chances of Cody
both,
Walker
not
staying
both, but
fit?
one.
Yeah.
If one of them is fit and firing, that's all you'll
That's
need.
all I need.
That's all you'll need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe another hooker.
Yeah, well, hooker's going to be my challenging spot.
Are you?
Do you want me to go through my team?
Yeah, throw it out.
Let's go through it.
Okay, so in my team, my hooker at the moment is Sonny Luke, still holding on to Sonny.
I'm actually surprised that you've
Stop
held
the
him this
fight.
long.
But there's no hookers in my comp. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 14-man comp. There's not 14 80-minute hookers. There's not.
Can you AE him? Like,
I know I will towards the back end. That'll be the plan. But I have got a little something lined up, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Ooh.
Front row forwards, I've got Jack DeBellin and Joe Tapane, which I've been absolutely stoked with. My
pickups, both.
2RF at the moment, I've got Corey Horsburgh,
wow.
Jackson Ford, and Zach Hosking.
Did you start with Horsburgh or did you bring him in?
No, I drafted him.
Yeah,
I drafted him and
really
Tapane.
good pickup.
Yeah. All those forwards I started with. None
And the
of them.
good thing is, like because you've got 3 jewels there, front row forward, you can cycle them through if there's injuries and stuff.
Exactly right.
Horsburgh and Hosking draft. That's
Yep.
that just screams guru.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was. And you remember episode 1, we sat here and my team was a shit fight, and I said,
Yeah.
wait till the end of the
Yeah.
season. And then in 3 weeks, it just went boom, and it was perfect. All of a sudden, it was wild.
Yeah.
Halfback, I've also got Nath Cleary, 5'8" at the moment. KP, he's my only 5'8" in the squad.
Oh, flying by the seat of your pants with no hooker and potentially no.
Potentially no 5'8". Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But that's once again, that's the do I waste a bench spot carrying a shit 5'8" that I don't want? And like, there's a lot of guys in my league that are doing that. And I just think it's fucking pointless.
Yeah.
There was actually one guy in our league. I actually think it's hilarious.
You are wasting bench spots carrying 18 back rowers. So
Yeah, but they're 18 quality back rowers. And I've actually improved that out of sight compared to what it looked like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. It was looking awful 2 weeks ago. Heaps worse. My CTWs at the moment, I have got Campbell Graham, Lemuelu, who has been my waiver pick of the year by a country fucking mile. Another
really
2RF if my other 17 go down. Tony Staggs and Billy Smith. How good did that work out?
yeah,
Remember the Billy Smith?
yeah.
How good?
B Smith.
Are you a
the
bit
other
worried-
B Smith?
The other B Smith.
Talking about defensive frailties.
Yep.
Are you worried about him getting shown up in defence?
100% I am, yeah. And it was something that when he came into first grade, he was really good in attack. But the 2 weeks before that in Cup, he got shown up in defence heavily.
Yep.
It is an issue, 100%.
Because I've got him in
But the
classic and
Roosters
I'm worried.
love him.
Yeah, well, I know they've
love
stayed
him.
with him through 2 ACLs.
Who
So-
gets dropped when Walker comes back in?
I think they'll move Suoliti to the wing.
And Paulo goes.
Pauga.
Yeah. So I think you'll see Daniel Tupper come back in for Corey Allen.
Is he?
Jackson Paulo got dropped this week.
Yeah, he's not in it. They've got a kid, Pauga, who's very good.
He's got some raps around him.
Did anyone pick him up in your comp?
I got too many Roosters.
Nah.
He's one to grab. If he's there, grab him.
You reckon?
Yeah, right.
Very talented. Defensively, same shit.
Yeah.
But he's a gun. If you go look at his New South Wales Cup stats, he's been killing
But do you
it
think there's a world where Tupou is coming back either this week or next? Does Corey Allen move across, or do you think Corey Allen just?
I think Corey Allen just goes see ya.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just get back to the fucking team that we all said should be there from day dot, like the team they played with last year.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, why are you mixing with it? Like,
So look, I don't think Billy Smith is safe. But once again, in my comp, when it's so deep, there's 14 guys with 4 CTWs.
yep.
There's only 4 in each footy side. Like, it gets very, very desperate.
Yep.
So happy with him. Then at the moment, I've got Seb Chris at fullback, but I've obviously got Turbo on the bench.
Yep.
So my bench as it stands right now, Tommy Turbo, as I said, Marcelo Montoya, who's done a job for me.
Yep.
Weird player, Marcelo Montoya. Do either of you two have him?
No.
So I assume you've never watched him closely or his Supercoach.
I like him on
scores.
the wing.
I have.
See, I much prefer him at
He's
in
he
this
scores-
team.
he
I
scores-
prefer him at
he
centre.
scores better at centre this
And
season.
I'd love to
They don't
see.
pass him the ball when he's on the wing.
Well, I'd love to see him on the other edge because Warriors are so
Yes, the other edge would be
right.
gun.
and dominant
Is it
in
Rocco
attack.
Berry that's inside of him?
No, Rocco Berry's at
Oh
right
no,
centre.
Pompey's
Yeah.
next to him.
Pompey's next to him, but Pompey used to be on the right centre, and Valia was next to him, who never passed him the ball. Now Pompey doesn't pass him the ball.
Like Montoya running off SJ. Fuck.
Well, and that was the other beauty of it, is that I had Jackson forward too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's sort of just a bit of stack down that edge. But once again, if he's my 4th, 5th CTW in my comp, happy to wear that.
Yeah.
Satili Tupanua, who is doing my head in. I knew he came back in New South Wales Cup before anyone else realised, so I grabbed him. But I knew as soon as I grabbed him, it was going to be a fucking headache.
Yep.
I am not shocked in the slightest. Nat Butcher's beat him out for the edge. I think Nat Butcher is so much better on the edge.
For sure.
You've been talking
for
about
sure.
it for a while now.
I fucking hate. This is why, and it's made me so nervous holding him for so long. Then I've got Adam Elliott, who I love. It's taken a long time, but I think he'll be a 55 once he's back playing full
Yep.
minutes. And then, as I said, hooker there's just not much doing in our comp. I've grabbed Havili. I believe he's going to be back next week.
Yep.
My logic here is, and when I grabbed him, I was hoping that Damien Cook would be playing Origin, but I just think towards the back end, JD absolutely loves him. I just think if he comes in halfway through the season, there's a good chance he could get a few extra minutes towards the back end.
What was his injury again?
I can't remember, but he's been out for a while.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
But they reckon he's tracking well, and I mean, whatever injury it is,
I'm trying to
that he
figure
comes
out whether
back,
it's something
yeah.
that they'll slowly increase his load, or whether it's just like straight back in.
No, I think it'll be a slow increase,
Yeah,
and I think
okay.
come finals time, he should be a guy at hooker that all I need at hooker, like I'm winning my comp by a mile, and Sonny Luke's averaging 21 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
all I
okay.
need is 30 or 40 every week, and,
if
I've
you
doubled
get in,
what I've been
if you
getting.
get in the finals and you purge your bench and leave the best second rower that's there, maybe an Adam Elliott on the bench, and you just run an AE for your hooker,
I'm cruising.
it's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
beauty of my team. If Cleary, Turbo, and KP are playing, it doesn't matter about anyone else.
Yeah.
I can drop whoever I want and just pick up.
All
what I
you,
can
all you'll
get.
need is to keep one of your TRFs and one of your CTWs in your suite.
Yeah, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Just like Wooker's team, just all circles around. Oh well, you got Nathan Cleary, so it's not too bad. But Turbo's your big play there.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Are you worried about Cleary potentially getting rested last week?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think that Penrith's obviously come back to the pack a little bit, and I'm hoping you're in this Origin period. They come even further back to the pack.
Who do they play in the last round?
Cowboys at Penrith. So if they're playing for a top 4 spot, the other thing, I think Nathan wants to win this Dally M this year.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he's having
another.
real crack
That's a
at
bit.
it.
That's another.
So I'm
big one.
hoping that he's there and thereabouts for that. I'm hoping they're playing for either a minor premiership or a home final.
Yep.
Because I think for them coming off 3 grand finals in a row, they need to have
Yep.
top 4, which I think they'll have anyway, but a home final would be a huge advantage. So I think there is a chance that Nath plays in the last week, but I need to prepare for him not playing.
Fair enough.
But as much as I've got these 3 guys with this really high ceiling, the rest of my team, like the vast majority of them average 55 and above.
In a 14-man league, your
This
team's-
is an unbelievable
This is an unbelievable team that I've
Yeah,
managed to
it's
get
for a
to.
full
fucking crazy.
for a 14-team league that has a full team plus an extra player on the bench. Huge team.
Yeah,
No.
and it's because you've drafted blokes like Horsburgh, Hosking. Did you draft JDB as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Osaka,
and all of them have just gone ting, ting, ting.
Yeah.
Which fuck. That's just, like I said, it's a classic guru thing. It's either rocks or diamonds. Like, if it works, it works. Going to be very hard to beat. Or, like we've seen in that other league that we used to be in.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. You know what's funny? That has never happened to me in my home league.
Yeah.
It's never played out the way. Like, that was a shit fight.
Yeah,
that was a fucking shit
You
fight.
probably just didn't pay attention enough.
No, I made poor calls in that.
Yep.
Like, they just didn't come off.
Yep.
But they all didn't come off.
Yeah,
and it was a
yeah.
huge fucking bed shit. Just nothing went right for
Yep.
me in that one. That was a
Yep.
nightmare. But in this one,
Which this could have happened as well. I mean, Hosking
mate,
getting
without
a
a doubt.
start, like, you know, if Garner comes out and kills it, Horsburgh, who, you know, like, if they go with...
They've
they
still-
would have
they've
known
still
this
got
is
a
the year
million-
that Ricky was going to trust guys.
There's
Exactly.
a million middles that he cycles through. This
Yep.
is the year that he goes for the 3 main ones.
Yeah,
But-
like I drafted Zach Hosking pretty early. There was no certainty that he was
I
going to get into that
I
side.
don't think you would have even needed to draft him.
It's-
You could have waited till round
I
7.
could have, but as I always say, I think people get too hung up on value on draft day. Get the guy you want.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
back
get to
your
this
gut.
part of the season, I'll give you the hot tip, where you drafting them doesn't mean shit.
yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
Nothing matters. Like, once draft day is done, it's done. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Puts
That
on
was
the
the other
shelf. Put it on
argument,
the
this
shelf.
big trade. Everyone was like, oh, it's a 1 and a 2 for a 1 and a
Oh, you
pick 17.
can't
It's fucking
do
dumb.
that.
It's the dumbest logic imaginable.
Yeah, but the comeback to that is, okay, let's do a cycle.
Where would
and
you
see
draft
they
them
rank.
now?
No, where do they rank now?
Yeah. Where would you draft him
Yeah,
now?
exactly.
And what makes more sense, using 13 weeks of actual form or what we thought of guys 13 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Incredible.
I just think, look, you're
a
just
team on potential.
You're me in your draft. Everyone, they've had
Slightly
enough.
better
Hey,
looking
hey,
They've-
he's not a cunt.
They've had enough of your success. You're too successful, and they don't want to see you go again. I mean, it happens to me every year. It's fine. Bring the hate.
Bring the hate. Love it. Absolutely love it. Biggest problem with my team.
Hookers.
Give it to me.
Yeah, but
I mean,
can see what
the
you're gonna
hookers.
do,
The
that's
hookers is the obvious. The no proper backup for the 2 positions that I think are the biggest injury risk for you.
Yeah.
Your 5'8" and your fullback.
very fair.
If either of those go down,
Well,
You can't-
fullback, I'm okay because I've got Seb Chris.
I mean, Seb Chris has looked better and better each week in the fullback role, but fuck, like
it's hard to have backups in those key positions in a 14-man league.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
that's what
I
makes
think
it difficult.
I think in a 14-man league, it doesn't matter who you are. If you get an injury in a key position, you're fucked. So
It becomes very difficult. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, but I also would rather. I would rather carry an Adam Elliott, a Montoya, one of these guys, instead of carrying a shit 5'8", just in case Kalen Ponga gets concussed. I would rather deal with that then, or just go, okay, 5'8's my AA position.
Yeah.
In your comp, has whoever's picked up, because someone would have picked up Ilias at one point.
Yep.
With all the single-digit scores that he's put down, have they kept him, or is he just
I
on
assume
waivers?
he's been kept. So I don't.
Yeah.
You can't drop a halfback in my comp.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, I was listening to your podcast the other day, and someone threw up a ludicrous idea to trade Sam Walker for Lachlan Ilias. Which one of you was that? Was that one of you too?
I've always been of the.
That was Natty. I remember
was him?
that,
I've always been of the.
Almost had a car accident.
of the opinion to go get Sam Walker, like buy Sam Walker, like whatever
He
you
was
can
under
get
the
for him.
impression that you could get Sam Walker for
Ilias, was it? Yeah.
And I almost fell off the chair.
Maybe you never know, and you never know unless you ask.
It's true. It's
It's
true.
all well and good to sit here and go, fuck,
This
that's
is-
stupid. But if you don't fucking
This
ask,
is Natty's attitude to dating.
Yes, if you don't ask-
you ask 100 times, you'll get slapped in the face 99. It's that one time.
It was just after.
so you're telling me there's a chance?
It was just after. I forget what the topic was. You just go on a big spiel, and then he started talking about it straight after, and you were like,
Yeah,
You
no, it's
fucking
one of my
listening?
favorite things on our podcast is where
Oh, yeah.
Walker's brain doesn't work, and he has to like tweak it a little bit, turn it on, and then
I mean, there's sometimes when I've got something I want to say, and I just have to let him say his piece, and I don't listen to him half the time. Because fuck, if I listen to him all the time, there'd be fucking
you should
aneurysms.
listen to me. I have 2 premierships.
Oh,
we did the
my
same thing on Beers
God.
and Break Evens the other day. Tim was talking. I wasn't paying attention. He was talking about Joey Martin as a captain. I go, I've got a huge pod play.
Oh, hey, listen to this.
Martin,
yeah.
and he's like, are you fucking
Yes.
for real?
This was
Jada
shades,
Walker. Good.
shades of Walker.
Fuck yeah, no.
Love that. Listen, boys.
Paul
Listen,
Walker.
you might learn something.
Yeah, so you ready for my little humble brag?
No, here
It's
we go.
not humble at all.
Here we go.
So in my comp, I've scored the most points, 10,750.
Yep.
The team with the second most points is 10,100.
400.
100.
Oh, one. What?
Yep. Wild. Fucking wild.
No wonder they hate
Turbo
you.
hasn't played a game yet.
No wonder they hate you.
Yeah, no, 100%
Yeah.
back it. Love it.
They hate us 'cause
Fucking
they
love
ain't
it.
us.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
And I'm
Like-
laughing it up because I'm never going to have a better team. I don't
And
think
you're doing
anyone's gonna.
something right. You're doing something right if everyone's fucking throwing shade at you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Absolutely love it.
No,
All
it's
right.
fine. I got no. Look, we'll give you a little bit of shade for the trade because everyone else has been, but I got no problems with it, mate. You were happy with it. Old Bub
You
was
look
happy
down the
with it.
barrel.
It's fine. And if you got a problem with it, you're jealous.
I've got a problem with it.
You have a problem with. I've never seen a trade happen in any league. Like it could happen in a league Wooker knows nothing about, and he'll go, "Oh, that's trade rape. That's fucking
whatever.
trade rape. No, you can't do that. Fuck."
If you don't make
Like my group chat personified. This is unbelievable.
if you don't make a play for a player and someone else slides in to their DMs, picks them up, it's on you. It's not on anyone else. So yeah, it's all fair and love and war.
And who was the guy that had Turbo and KP? What's his name?
Jeremy, he was one of my groomsmen at my wedding a couple of
So
weeks ago.
Jezza, it's up to Jezza to raise the prices of those players. Like what he could have done is he could have gone to the group chat and gone, Guru's come to me with this. He's going to give me these players. Can anyone beat it? And that would have...
Jem is a classic live off the grid, so that was my other advantage. I knew that he would.
Playing the
Everyone
man.
else in the group also knows he won't do
play
that.
the man.
Play the man.
Play the
Exactly
man.
right.
Play the man.
So-
So, yeah, it's fine. It's all above
so
board in my
true.
opinion, mate.
Exactly right. And he probably wanted to get the trade over the line. He
Yep.
probably stroked my ego a little bit, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So he
Yeah.
played the man as well.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a bit of ego stroking.
Everyone loves a
I
little
tell you
ego
what,
Might be doing
stroke.
something right.
We did that play where you make it an open auction on the chat for trades,
Yeah.
and it is fucking hilarious. Like
It gets feral,
it gets
Yeah.
feral, but you end up getting
but in a good way.
heaps more than you started with, 100%. Like if you go, okay, look,
It's fear of missing out.
yeah, this guy's offered me this. Who wants to match it or who wants to better it? And your DMs just blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Good
we've experimented with that, but it got too hectic.
Bring the chaos. The chaos is the best bit.
But then you got people just throwing ridiculous trades just to scupper someone else.
100%. Yeah.
So you'd never have a trade. Ever.
No, I mean, like I've had a situation like that before where, and funnily enough, it was Turbo a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and one guy was going to trade Turbo to another fella, and the fella he was trading to had won 2 comps, same as me, and I just couldn't afford to see him do well, so I tried to sell the farm to get Turbo off him, and he said to me, no, I can't do it because if Turbo does well and you win a comp, I'll fucking hate myself forever.
And that's
So I
trade
can't do it.
politics.
And then
That's all part of
Turbo
it.
went there, and I was filthy going, that's fucking bullshit. Then Turbo got injured, and the season was over. Which
Yeah.
the same thing could happen to me at any given moment.
Yeah.
That's trade politics. There's certain people in your league that like to, you see them trade again and again, like they're trade buddies.
Yep.
And they just won't trade with anyone else. So that's trade politics. That's what it is.
And I've got 2 or 3 trade buddies.
Yep.
I might have burnt a bridge.
I think
a few weeks ago, but-
there's always a few trade buddies that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that you go to them and you have like a mutual understanding that's like, I'm not trying to fuck you. You're not trying to fuck me. Let's
off,
just
mate.
try and get
I
this
find
done.
my trade buddies are really interesting they're not my closest Supercoach buddies.
Yep.
They're just that next layer out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the close ones, you never want to give an inch
No,
to. Like the
absolutely
guy I
not.
talk to most about Supercoach.
We've been doing
we
this
would
for
never
10 years
trade
that we've
together.
never traded.
Never
Not a
trade.
single-
I was
not
going
a
to say
single
you two
trade.
never
Not a
would.
single
Not,
trade.
not one. Not one.
Not even. We haven't even like
Even talked
broached
about
the
it.
subject.
Even talked about
Oh,
it.
I've got a group chat with 4 other blokes that we talk Supercoach every day.
Yep.
They're all in the comp. I've never made a trade with any of those guys.
No.
Then there's the next layer of guys where we're just a little bit further distant, Supercoach wise, and that's where you can sort of
Because
make
our negotiations would go for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it'd be just one trying to get the advantage.
It's about I want you
And
to
we're
spread your
looking at
cheeks
the-
wider. Spread them wider.
And we're
Spread them
like
wider.
reading off the fucking same hymn sheet.
Yeah.
It, like, it just wouldn't work.
the same shit.
Literally.
It's
How
good.
good.
All that is. That's what draft is. That's what it separates it from classic. You take that away, might as
is
well
it?
just fucking play classic in your mum's basement.
100%.
Yeah, so true.
I'm enjoying classic more than ever. I'll be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know that you guys have never been the
No, I-
hate classic type.
No.
No,
No,
I
I play it.
We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you
I'm
going
just
this year?
not good on it.
How are we travelling?
22,000.
It's not bad.
Yeah, 20.
I mean, it's not good, but it's,
Yeah,
20,000.
good for me.
yeah, that's good.
3 weeks ago, it was about 42,000. So
I'm bringing
making
in,
some
bringing in
significant
Ockenball.
strides.
I love it.
Yeah.
Ockenball's coming straight in, bro.
I wasn't overly keen on Ockenball. Then I found out that
No.
Tim didn't like him, so now I just want him.
Look at that. I'm going straight for Burns.
Yes, that's a good call.
I'll let you know what I dream of.
The interstellar pick.
Good call.
Just make sure you clean up after the dream.
I love it. If Burns plays fullback, fuck, this is going to be good.
You heard it here first.
And it's not impossible.
No.
You wouldn't rule
Burns
it
is a
out.
gun.
Yeah. All right.
The history of the Hennies, though, might be
Yes,
the
is a
thing.
pun, without a doubt. All right, let's get to your team, Natty.
Yeah. Okay.
Take us through your lineup. If you
right.
can do like an Origin style arms cross, tell us which local team they played for.
There's only one person on this fucking panel that can do that, and that's you. Harry Grant at hooker, Cotter, Mo Fodawaker in the front row.
Have I tipped off all these guys to you?
Please.
Harry Grant, Ruben Cotter.
Pretty much the whole
Jesus
whole
Christ.
team, yeah.
Just because we're both
Did I
intelligent.
draft this team for you 2 years ago?
Just because we're both intelligent blokes who have got 2 premierships to our name doesn't mean.
Pappenhausen, Kelly, Marsh, Adam.
Hosking, Katoa in the back row, Sam Walker halfback, Ezra Mam 5'8", Joey Manu in the centres with Jacob Carraz, the future immortal Jareem Buller at fullback, Adam Elliott, Greg Marzu, Brian Kelly, Ryan Pappenhausen on the bench. So some things that have happened at the Eskimo Bros lately. I lost Drinkwater in a bet and got Jareem Buller in return. And that was the week that Jareem Buller went out and scored 1,000 points. And I was like, fuck, that's good. I mean, granted, Drinky has been playing out of his
Drinky still
fucking
scored like 100
skin
as well
in the last few rounds. But I'm pretty happy with Buller, as in that I lost the bet and I've got Buller. And the thing I like about Buller in comparison to Drinky needs 3 try assists to go big.
Yes.
Buller has such a great floor to work from, and he's only getting better.
Drinky can score a try and score 16.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got that in him.
Yep.
He has to
Whereas
do a lot.
Buller's making 28 runs a game.
Yeah.
Like,
he's
he's
stuck in.
keen.
So as per usual, you fucked up and fallen ass first into a win.
100%. 100%. Then
The Cosmo Kramer of the draft.
The
was.
Cosmo Kramer.
Hey, oh, mate. Gods are on my side this year. Watch
It's a
out.
lower amount of racism.
Then I wait, you'll like this, Guru. I picked up Jacob Carraz off waivers this week.
It's fucking rank.
Oh,
Mickey Mouse comp, honestly. Unbelievable.
he comes in. So now I'm running with, when my team's up and running, Carraz and Marzu will be in the CTWs, which are 2 of the best base beasts in the comp, if not the best. And I'll have Joe Manu at 5'8".
Kiraz started the year tremendously. He's been very, very impressive. I've got him in Classic and I've held him the whole time, so watched him pretty closely. Doesn't look quite himself the last few
I reckon
weeks.
he's come back a little bit early
Yeah?
from injury. And you can see in the last sort of couple of weeks, he has been better each game that he plays since he's come back from injury. The thing
His
that...
base hasn't been there, though.
Injury?
49 with a try.
Yep. So he's obviously a little bit underdone, but you know that that's in his game. That doesn't just switch off. Like, you don't just go, oh, fuck, I don't run 20 times a game.
Who dropped him in your comp?
A bloke that's desperate, last place, who in the bye round just wanted blokes on the field.
He just needed a win.
Needed a win. Which I'll get into later for buy strategy, but I mate. And look, if he was above me, he would add him.
I had him locked and loaded in my way.
My whole strategy with being on the waiver wire ladder is just to be above Walker.
Yeah.
And it's worked because I've been heavily involved in the waivers most of the season. So.
And I just poach.
So now you're below Wook now, though?
No, I dipped in myself.
Who'd you get?
So I dropped DWZ and picked up Perham again.
Interesting.
It's a sideways one, I know.
Sideways,
Yeah.
You suck when Braden Burns plays fullback. And he's
I know. Well, that's why I was listening quite intently when you said that. And
I wish I would have known that. I would have played.
This
double.
show's going to turn into the best Supercoach show in the planet.
Yeah.
If that comes off. Yeah. We can tell the fucking future. Let it be known.
Mate, I guess we have to talk about him.
Yep.
The Pappenhausen.
Yep.
Thrillhausen over there.
Yeah, it gets worse every week.
Without a doubt, it gets
It gets very
every
worse.
week.
But He's just like a nothing in my team. Like he's there. I'm never going to drop him. I'm going to finish the season with him in my team. He's
a placeholder.
Yep. Because I know if I dropped him right now, he would play on the weekend.
Yeah.
100%. Could you imagine if that happened?
I'd thoroughly enjoy it.
I would just go.
Rage quit.
And I would just, that'd be the end of it. 2023 season would be over. But look, I've always said from day dot, when I was sitting here at the start, when we were talking about how we drafted, I said, I only need him for finals. And to be honest, if he plays one game at fullback for 80 minutes for the Storm and it's only my grand final, that's fine.
Give me a percentage of his chances you think he plays this year.
Oh, God, I really don't know.
I think there's a good
30?
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance that he plays.
I reckon you got too many zeros behind that 3.
I don't think that there's a good chance that he plays and is Supercoach relevant.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And I think if he plays, it'll be off the bench.
At what week will you drop him? Like
Never.
But like, surely if we get to round 23 and there's no sign of him coming back whatsoever.
The thing is, the way that I play my finals is I purge my bench anyway and get a decent AE off someone.
Yeah, okay.
And then he's just going to be a guy that's a non-playing player anyway. So I'll probably never get rid of him. And the thing is, it's like I'm coming third without him. It's I'm not looking at him going, oh my God, like hurry back. Like I'm fucking smooth sailing without him. It's just a nice little cherry on top.
But what about the dramas if he's coming off the bench playing 20 minutes a game? That becomes a big issue, because in the finals he could start or he could stay as that.
I think there's a very good chance your life will be easier if he never comes back.
Exactly. Yes.
And if that happens, I'll make that decision.
Imagine if you wait 25 weeks for this fucker to come back.
You drop him and then he fucking starts.
Imagine that's the thing that's the scariest the most. Like the one time you drop him. Imagine dropping him because he's coming off the bench in round 25. I drop him, I win round 25, go into my grand final. He starts for Storm and scores 150.
I think you should...
In the bath, I'd be. Like
stop being a coward.
Oh, fuck off.
And I think you should drop him for Braden Burns this weekend.
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad play. It's not a bad play.
Don't be a pussy, mate.
I love the Mars you get. Did you win him or did you...
Drafted him.
You drafted him. You're very excited about him.
Very, very big on him.
Did you draft Adam Elliott too?
Yes, and he's been out and back in my side.
I
had Sean Lane, and I was going to hold him, but I just don't have room for him to carry him as well as everyone else that's fucking injured in my side. So Adam Elliott was still on waivers, picked him up, played 60 minutes on the weekend. I thought he would score a little bit more, but I think he's still warming into that role. The thing I like about Adam Elliott is he's got an offload and he likes to throw it. And when he starts throwing that offload and getting 2 or 3 a game, that's when we'll see that 60-point average.
Eli Katoa's gone well this season.
Fuck yeah.
Very well.
Yeah,
he's Supercoach and in actual NRL.
He is nice.
My big worry with your team.
Talk to me.
It's just one?
My biggest worry...
Says 8th.
Yeah, says 8th.
Quiet down there.
Fair.
I'm the best team. I just don't score points. My worry with your team, we're on the same team for the next few minutes, okay? My worry with your team is come finals time, I just don't know if you can compete with the Turbos, the Hineses, the sort of Sky.
And that is the reason.
In a captain's league, you don't have, I mean, you just showed that you did with Marju scoring over a ton, but you don't have a reliable player to ton up.
Like that is the reason I chased Manu. Yeah. Because I'm after upside. Yeah. Because I don't have it. And that is, you're 100% right. I don't have the ceiling to match it with the Clearys, the Turbos,
the Munsters,
the Mitchells. Well, it doesn't matter about Mitchell because he's not playing round 26. But yeah, I don't have that high ceiling up guy, which is sort of like Pappenhausen was going to be that guy for me when I drafted. Yeah. It just won't be now.
Yeah. And even when I look at Marshu, for example, who I agree has that upside.
Yep. He's not going to score 3 tries every week.
Oh, he's also he's not going to score 3 tries against South Sydney or Cronulla.
But in saying that, because my team is so well-rounded, if your gun doesn't fire, I gotcha.
Yeah, that's fair. But the reality is you are going to have to beat 2 of those top 5 players, in my opinion, to probably win a comp.
The big thing for me, other than Pappenhausen, but I've just given up on that, is Sam Walker coming back and now having that Sam Walker, Joey Manu stack.
I think you should drop Pappy. I really do. I think there is little chance.
You need that coverage on the bench.
Yeah, you need to start to build your squad and take a few flyers and try and get a gun that could turn into something. I know it's a million times easier to say when it's not my team. and this is for all Pappy owners out there, including the guy in my comp. I think you drop him, you move on with it. I'll give you it's not as hectic. But me 2 weeks ago, I had too many 2RFs. You've been laughing at me for months, and I just thought, you know what? I've got to make a fucking decision.
I can't record with these guys again.
I dropped Luciano Leilua.
Yep.
Right? Who I've been holding on to all this time. He came back fucking 6 days later. I couldn't believe it. But I'm looking at it going, have I missed out on that much, really?
Yeah.
I can now go to the waiver and
there's some idiot that'll buy Pappenhausen off me in my league.
We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll. Yeah. But at the moment, it's not.
If I was you, I would even look at Pappy and I would just find someone who's a bit of a mid-ranger who come final is going to have a mad run and will be playing.
Yep. But the thing is, it's not a pressing issue.
Yeah.
Because I'm not struggling. I'm winning games. Maybe when it gets closer to the season. And the thing is, with our league, there's just gold on the waivers all the time.
Yeah.
So
that is the one good thing about having the reduced squads. It means that there's always there's trading happening, there's bets happening, and there's a lot of waiver action.
I'll tell you what is a really good barometer, and we'll be completely honest. If Pappy was on the waiver, why would you pick him up?
No.
Nor would I.
Not in a heartbeat.
And you always think everyone's looking at your player. Most of the time, they fucking aren't.
Yeah.
Someone would take him, but I don't
genuinely,
reckon
out of our league, there would be 4 people who would pick him up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there would genuinely be 4
I'm coming
people.
first in I'm winning my comp.
Oh, really? We hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I've only mentioned it 9 times.
Really?
I wouldn't even consider.
Yeah, look, it is a decision I'm going to have to make soon. Probably not right now, but because I just don't need to. I'm cruising. It's not a worry for me. Yeah.
I guess
you're right.
Your comp is a little bit more fluid as well.
And it doesn't fix the problem I've got.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Dropping Pappy, I'm not going to find all of a sudden a huge upside guy off the waivers that's going to win me a comp. You know what I mean? It doesn't fix my main problem.
You might. Maybe with your ability,
Burns.
But if you want to reach out to me, I can
Burns,
help.
you're right, Burns. Burnsy comes in for sure.
But yeah, other than that, it's a very strong squad.
Sam Walker's the big one.
Yeah.
That's the big one. He comes back and he's healthy and Roosters actually start fucking playing good football that we know they can play. And I've got that stack on the right with Sam Walker and Joey Manu.
I'll tell you what, the Mam punt has been unlucky. Has been very unlucky. With how well the Broncos have played, I would have expected Mam to be averaging 60. The
thing with Mam is he doesn't play well when Adam Reynolds isn't in the side, and he doesn't play well when the forwards are out. So he's actually not a bad buy at the moment because he's coming off a couple of games where Adam Reynolds wasn't available and obviously all the Origin forwards were out, and he just doesn't have that platform to work off.
I have never looked at Ezra Mam's scores before. They're rank.
Yeah, and he gets 50 and 60 with a try.
They're awful.
Wrap your lips around it, bro.
They're awful, all things considered.
Yep.
Can't take you anywhere, can we?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, and that's the other
honestly, can be said, just pour beer all over it, man. It's fine. Just go for it, yeah?
And he will be my bench 5'8", though.
Yeah.
Because I'll play
Manu. You want to take a light out while you're here, too? Just get stuck in, yeah? Make yourself at home.
Can we get a sippy cup? You can put that in a sippy cup.
I literally just...
He doesn't even light the studio.
Put a nipple on it, bro. Put a little nipple on it. Oh, fuck. I remember my first beer.
It's my first beer.
Jesus.
He only carved the table himself, so it's fine.
Fucking hell.
All right. Well, this is the last episode fucking Wooker will be on.
Yeah, but Ezra Mam, those scores, as I said, I've never looked at them before, but they are alarming.
Yeah,
only
disgusting.
one score over 65.
I had him at the end of last season, and he was an absolute weapon. And the only reason why Natty picked him up...
Did you have him last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What?
I just heard heaps about it last year. I was fucking sick of hearing about
right.
Ezra Mam.
He was unreal.
He's literally just going to be...
The one I tipped you both off on.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck it up.
Here we go. We could say the same thing about you. We both do talk about SuperCoach players.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How did Cody Walker end up at your team, by the way?
Oh!
Awful. Traded him for Tom Travojevic. Thanks for coming.
He was surely a bust, wasn't he?
Drafted him, then traded him high on the scores he was putting out to get turbo. Fuck, you're
Boys, have
welcome.
you ever heard of the long game?
You're welcome.
Just remember that I drafted Tom Trbojevic at pick 21. So,
You're welcome.
Oh,
You are
Jesus.
welcome.
we'll take him. Let's have a look at the rest of your side. What else stands out to me? I'll tell you who's been a really good pickup that I like. To be fair, I thought his average would be a little bit high, but there's probably a reason behind that. But Mo Fodawaker, every
Yeah.
time I seem to check his
Mate.
scores,
Started really
Mate,
slow
at
in
a
the season.
57
Yeah, okay,
average,
yeah.
another guy that you would target now, because I think over the last, I'd have to get up, but last 3 or 4 rounds he's been pumping out 60.
I feel like every time I look
65s.
at him, he's scoring 60.
Yep,
Yeah.
and he does it in his sleep, and he plays fucking huge minutes.
Yeah.
It's a similar scenario to...
He was a free agent pickup.
It was a similar scenario
Yeah.
to Jack DeBellin.
I don't think he got drafted in our comp. Mo Fodawaker.
Big
from
Mo,
memory.
yeah.
I think he might have got left.
He got drafted in ours and then dropped.
Yeah.
I was about to pick him up, but I think I got snuffled on it. Yeah.
Another
But I picked him up in another league. so
steal.
good.
How many other leagues are you in?
2.
Yeah. 2 other leagues? Or so you're in 3 leagues altogether?
Yeah.
How you going in the other leagues?
One of them coming
we
dead
only
last.
Isn't one of them shit house?
Yeah,
that
we-
you fucking-
Yeah, he's
It's like
one.
a camp quality.
One. That's the listener league. We're coming like dead last in it. That's awesome.
I think it's his work league.
In the other one,
Disadvantaged
coming
children.
second.
that playing that one.
Fuck.
Need a Labrador to get in, don't you?
Yeah.
Golden Retriever, mate.
Yeah, they all drive the short bus to school.
Oh Jesus!
Oh,
The
that's
stuff I
great.
put up with on this podcast. What do I even rock up? Seriously.
How are you feeling about Ruben Cotter?
Yeah, look, when he scores tries, he's good. Which
Been
is
a weird season.
that's
yeah,
hasn't
fu-
it's strange.
It's funny considering what he was doing last season. It's just
I know.
It's not happening.
I hope that he comes off this Origin series healthy,
Yeah.
but then he just comes in and just fucking goes, this is too
Ripping in the
slow.
turn.
This is fucking, I'm just going
I
to
think that's
eat
just-
everyone.
It's kind of the Cowboys in a nutshell, though, isn't it? They
Mm.
just haven't done what we expected them to do from last season.
It is a worry though. Him even when he comes out of this Origin series now with Leilua knocking around, Lukey's back, Nanai's available,
Yep.
Tamalolo comes
Lo-
back in.
Lolo is coming
Cohen
back.
Hess has been really good too.
Yeah, he's
By
performed
complete
almost
utter
as good as
shock.
like a couple of years
He's been
ago.
great. So yeah, Cotter's.
It is a
Interesting
worry.
one.
It is a worry. I got him where I wanted to get him in draft, like
Actually,
round 5 or round
Tamo will
6
be
or
back
something.
in a
Soon.
couple of weeks
Yep.
too. Yeah,
Griffin Neem's back now too. There's just a lot of mouths to feed there.
Because he needs 60 minutes.
Yeah.
he does.
And I wonder off an Origin series, like he played 80 minutes the other night.
Yeah.
Do they push him or do they? I don't know. He's
I'd
coming
love
off
to
a
see-
big year.
I'd love to see him play
Yeah.
80 minutes of the Cowboys. But yeah, no, Mo Fodawaker is my best front row.
And
At the moment.
you-
Like he's punching out really consistent, sexy scores.
yeah.
Nice.
Are you going to hold Kelly, or is
Well,
he,
that's- yeah.
Brian Kelly? That
The fuck's
is
going
there
on
any?
there?
Is there any word on why he's been dropped?
I just think he's just one of those guys that's always in and out. I think
He is like is an amazing player in attack. Gets shown up in defence occasionally, but I don't think
you have to
I
fit
don't-
in at the Gold Coast
I
Titans.
was about to say I don't think he's out of place in the Titans team if that's the case. The only guy who's actually showed a bit of ticker in defence this year is Fafita.
Yeah.
He's actually shown up.
I'll probably drop him because I need at least one guy on my bench playing.
Can you give me an example? Can you go to your waiver wire and can you just filter CTWs and just read to me the top few names just to get an idea of what
Yep.
we're
Go.
Just in there now.
dealing with here?
There be gold there. There be gold.
All right, I'll filter it by picked in leagues.
Happy to pick up DWZ after this idiot dropped him.
Yeah, it's an interesting drop for Hayes Parham. But anyway,
Suwali's available. Bradman Best is available.
Bradman Best is available.
Seb Chris is available. Toops is available.
I can't have another rooster.
Tessie News available. DWZ's available. I just dropped him.
Okay, DWZ's
Mo
coming.
Sully.
Is
Terrell
DWZ
Sloan.
dual position?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was your
started-
thinking
started-
there with Hayes? What is he? He's dual, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fullback, right?
Playing both the buys.
Okay, yeah.
I needed a full.
Because you're
I
not
needed a full
doing
team.
well. Yeah, right. Ouch! Came running into the trap. Didn't even.
I
walk in
ran
there. Sprinted into it.
head first into that. Okay, well done. And the guy that you're banking on, the two guys that you're banking on, Billy Smith and Marshall Montoya, no one wants him in our league. So, anyway,
Billy Smith isn't owned.
Yeah, Billy Smith shit.
I
In
would,
defence.
I would pick up
In
Billy
defence.
Smith
In
if I
defence.
didn't have all the roosters. So
If he was picked each week on attack, he'd obviously be there.
Yeah, no, fair. Anything else in your time?
No, that's it. No, I'm just happy. I've been happy the whole year. Like, I've just been up the tippity top, winning, stealing wins.
Berglund
wins, getting W's.
He's the hamburger.
Making nice waiver claims.
Now, we averaged out Pappy to be somewhere between 3% to 30% to return this season.
Well, I think if we're talking about a return, like a Supercoach relevant return, 0%.
What I was going to ask you is, before you rudely interrupted me, which is fine.
Won't be the last time.
Yeah, and he
Sorry
wouldn't
for
have listened,
talking whilst you were interrupting.
and he wouldn't have listened to a word you said.
Enough of that.
Enough of that. Honest, like, this is a serious question. I'm not taking the piss. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
If you had to give yourself a percentage of your chances to make finals this year, what would it be?
I would say 92%.
What do you reckon it is?
Overs.
It's got to be overs, doesn't it?
Fucking overs, mate.
If you had to give an honest,
I'm 2 wins out of top 4.
Nah, he'll be there.
he'll be there. You're confident?
He'll be there.
What's the highest he can finish? You reckon?
And the thing is, it's so
The way that the league is at the moment, I
you
could
can't
come
lose in our
first.
league. You just can't. You tumble.
I could come first.
Nah, that won't happen.
It won't happen,
But you could.
but I could.
Okay. Fair enough.
Easily.
We'll both be playing finals football, and then someone will get a little wobbly, and I'll just keep on keeping on.
So as it stands right now, you're 2-0 over him.
Yeah,
This year.
yep.
Have you ever had a season where someone's gone 2-0 or 3-0 against each other?
I don't even know. I haven't kept
I
score.
haven't
It's always
kept- I
very
haven't kept
close.
track.
Very close.
It's always very
Each
close.
time there's not much in it.
Obviously, in the finals, it's all me.
And we've only versed each other twice in the finals anyway.
What happened?
I can't remember.
Have you played each other in grand final yet?
Well, I obviously kept going through the finals, so we know what happened.
How do you know it was one of the years that you won? You lost like 5 grand finals.
But I was
Oh, no,
in the
2,
grand final.
3
Were you in
grand
it? If you weren't in it, then I finished higher than you.
What?
If you weren't in the grand final-
you said if I beat you, I won it, didn't I?
No,
That's exactly what you just
I
said.
said if I went higher than you in the finals, I obviously beat you, which happens more often than not. Obviously.
We'll see what happens.
Am
this
I wrong?
Year, mate. We'll see what happens this year.
He says that a lot.
I know he does.
This is my favourite time of the
It's
year.
going to be on his tombstone.
We'll see what happens. Walker, we'll see what
We'll
happens.
have to come up with a spicy bet then.
Josh, we'll see what happens with Walker week.
Well, we'll see what happens with how you're crowing now. To what happens.
I'm
in the
not.
finals. You're
just,
crowing hard,
I'm
mate.
happy.
You are crowing hard.
All I'm saying is, I'm saying facts. I'm saying you don't do well in finals, and I do.
Statistically.
Yes, and I do well in finals. I'm better in the finals than you, statistically. Am I wrong? No, I'm not.
No.
So I thought. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
Yep.
Any of you want to trade KP and Kenny Walker?
Fucking Muppets.
I want to have a fight.
Touching.
All right. That was nice. That was good.
Can you feel the tension?
I'm going to hand the mic over to you two to take us through a few strategies, a couple of stats.
Actually, what I wanted to talk about firstly after my team was we sort of mentioned a little bit before, play the man, not the player. And we had a chat about it. And this is a big thing with the Weekly Rubdown. It's one thing that we talk about when you're proposing a trade is to not go to someone and start spruiking a player, his averages, how he's gone in the season. It's very used car salesman. It's cringy as fuck. Everyone can smell the bullshit.
It's got a low success rate.
It never fucking works. Everyone can look at the SuperCoach websites and look at the averages and look at how guys are traveling. It never works, right? Don't play the player. You need to play the man. Now, we've got 2 really good examples of it here with Guru and myself. So I looked, when I got Manu, I looked, as I do all the time, I look at the ladder, I look at who needs wins, who's got injuries, who's losing bets.
Pretty sure you just filter your old man and your brother-in-law. That's the only 2 people that you trade against.
Well, we talk about trade buddies. But this is a perfect one because I went to him and I didn't talk about any of my players. I didn't bring up my players at all. I just went, bro, you need wins, hey. And he's like, yeah. I was like, and you've got fucking heaps of injuries. This is when Marnie just got injured.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you've got heaps of Roosters players. Like, what do you want to do about this? Like, you tell me what you want to do about it. And I let him come up with the trade because I played the man.
How are your family get-togethers, mate? Are they a bit of a silent
They all
affair,
sit
or-
around and they fucking go, thank you for that trade. It was such a good trade. And thank you for looking out for me.
You inceptioned the trade.
So the
Love
thing
it.
is, like, it's worked out. Like, he needs someone now who's playing well. Toto's playing well. And he probably doesn't need fucking 6 Roosters players. And the other thing is, like, with your trade, you did the work. You knew that he would take that bait because you knew his circumstances. You knew he needed wins. That's how you propose trades. You go in there going, oh, I've got this bloke and he's fucking killing it and I'm going to fucking sell him to you and you should fucking, you should buy him now because...
There's always a healthy level of distrust when you go with that approach as well. Like everyone's like, you're not coming to me if I'm
Why
going
would
to be
you
winning
sell
the
him
trade.
if he's so good, bro? Why are you trading him?
Something smells a bit fishy.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's been a rumour getting around my comp that someone picked up someone off the waiver wire in the afternoon. I won't name names, but picked up a certain player off the waiver wire.
Name them.
No, I won't name names. We'll play fair because I'm already in the bad books. Picked up a certain player off the waiver wire and then was trying to spruik them for a trade later that night, which was... I think people can just see it coming a mile.
Cringe. It's just cringe. It's proper used car salesman. You just go, oh, like, no. Like,
Yeah.
But if you can sort of finesse it in a way that you're sort of leading them into direction and make them make the decision, they're like, yeah, you're right, I do need this. And then they end up going, like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? Like, have a look at the team, have a look at the players I've got, see what tickles your fancy. Let's sort of come to an agreement then. And your foot's in the door then.
Yeah.
You got them. Play the man, not the player.
No one wants to buy your old Fanua Bowl Cadillac.
In joke, obviously, for someone out there. For someone out there. The other one is buy round strategy. If you're coming last, second last, third last, if you're struggling for wins and you play the buy rounds, these are easy wins, people. These are cheap W's. Get blokes in your team that are fucking playing and get the W.
Yeah.
What's the good of holding all the players that you've got if you don't make the finals anyway?
Yeah, and it comes down to looking at players who are coming up against teams that have been leaking points.
Yeah.
And then picking out those, and then going, I'm willing to lose a gun to pick up one of those overperforming players like your Jermaine Asarkos and co.
And then if you have a league that is subscribing to that, then your waiver wire position is very important. Do not spend your waiver wire position at this time of the year when there's heaps of buys on anything less than gold. Keep that top spot because there are going to be players that are like, I just have to drop this guy. Jacob Krause, hello. Yeah. That are going to drop players to get W's. And if you're high on your waiver wire priority, you can swoop in and get them.
Yeah.
So those are the two things. Like, obviously, if you're cruising, you want to be up top of the waiver wire priority list and keep it. But if you're down the bottom, you need to look at fucking getting rid of blokes just to get wins.
Yeah.
I backed up. What's next?
Now we just talk stats, flips and fetches. Hand it over to Wooker. He's got all the stat sheets.
Yeah, so...
What are we talking about here? Are we talking about where we're leading into finals or...
So there's two scenarios that we've gone through. So we do groupings for our strength of schedule, and we rank teams based on how their oppositions will defend certain positions, and then we bulk it up for if they play say Dragons, Bulldogs, Manly in the next three rounds, we group those together, and then based on how they defend, that's the strength of schedule rating. Rank those, and then it gives us an indication of, we've got the strength of schedule now, we've got the strength and how the teams should be performing. So they could be coming up. So Sharks, for example, at the moment has the best strength of schedule for rounds 9 to 16. So at the moment, they should be firing, they should be overperforming, they should be scoring really well. Then come into the next set of rounds, so rounds 17 to 22, their strength of schedule drops to 10th in the league. So we'd be expecting you'd want to be selling high on those Sharks players for the next couple of rounds if you need to get wins on the board. And this is where you need to start thinking about it. But if you're at the top of the ladder, you're thinking the opposite. So you're thinking, okay, who should I be fetching? So who's been going through a really tough period? Who's been coming up against the tough teams? Like teams like the Knights, the Cows, the Storm, Broncos especially. They've been coming up against really difficult sides. So you want to be targeting to bring in some of those players because their strength of schedule really improves over the following period. So if you need wins, you need to be looking at the fetches. If you're low on the ladder, you need to be looking at flips. You need to be looking at flipping players to get wins, get the W's, and move on with your season.
Now, if I want to look at all these stats and everything in depth on my own, where do I go?
If you head across to the Patreon, we go through every fortnight. We'll do strength of schedule, and every week we do an update for the flip and fetches. So we go through weekly update. We're about to release. So we do that for season average. We're about to release 6-round average as well, just to give a form guide, just as to tickle your taints, just to see if that's it's something that you're keen on. Because obviously, form is fleeting. And that's why we don't, when we're looking at strength of schedule, we don't typically rely on form. It's more season long. But it is, when we're talking about form over this period, so rounds 9 to 16 comparing to rounds 17 to 22, it has a bit more impact. But if you're comparing round 9 to 16 to round 23 to 26, you might want to be looking at season long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Google Weekly Rubdown Patreon, $5 a month. I know, cheap.
Give it away.
Cheap, but yeah, it's all there. Walker's got about 1,000 sheets on there. I'll go through a little bit of a Patreon plug and play a little bit later and how to use those stat sheets, but they are fucking gold. And in all honesty, I use them myself. That's how good they are. We all use them, right? So,
and we've got a couple of explanatory videos that Natty's made. He's done the plug and play pickups each week as well, just to give an indication of this is how to use it.
Burnsy was my first one.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the videos yet.
Yep. So we've gone Burnsy. So usually what we do, we want to get 80 plus SuperCoach points and at least one try.
Is the video what you said here?
Yeah, so I did that one for Burns, and then every week I've done one with the similar stats. So we had AJ, so we had Burnsy, AJ, one other one.
Sione Katoa?
Yes, Sione Katoa. And then we had Will Penasini last week, and he got,
62.
But he looked good.
No, 64.
He's a bit of a SuperCoach gun, just quietly Penasini.
Yes.
Under the radar.
100%. Yeah. And look, if there was a couple of line breaks he made there, and he didn't get that try assist either. Like, it was very
dirty about that.
Touch and go there to get 80.
Jem, the guy I traded with, he's got Will Penasini, and during the trades, I didn't realise how good he was going. I said, why don't you give me Will Penasini? And he looked at me like I tried to steal his first ball.
He is good.
You're not going near.
He's very good.
No way.
He's very good.
Righto. And I looked at his stats and went, okay.
Yeah, fair.
I get it.
Let's just talk about a few guys that at the moment that are just fucking humming, that are ripe for the flipping. And we'll talk about whether you would and whether it's a good time to do that. At the moment, AFB is the top of the list for me. He has 4 tries in 6 games. His 5-round average is 89 as a front row forward. If he doesn't scream flip now, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I'd wait a week because I'm playing him this week.
Yeah.
I will be getting on him for any time try scorer.
Yeah.
That's the sole reason. But yeah, that combination, him and Tohu, unreal.
Yeah, really
Unbelievable.
good.
And you'd be able to pretty much get any front row forward you want with those sort of stats, AFB, package him up with someone else, and all of a sudden you're looking at getting in anyone you want.
I would even look outside front row forwards.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Strikes
You get
to
a
RF.
half decent spine. You get a decent spine player.
For sure, for sure.
His form that he's in at the
For
moment.
sure. Because in every league, there's people that only look at averages.
Yeah.
And they look at that 89 and they
And
go,
God, I love you.
Yeah.
All of you out there,
Yes,
you're my
yeah,
favourites.
fuck.
Yeah.
Thank God you guys exist. And I hate the day where they wake up and smell the
Yeah,
roses.
no,
exactly.
never, please no. JMK, so 4 assists in 5 games, 5-round average of 71. He has had a lot of attacking stats, and what I want to ask you guys is, can he continue that, or is this just the JMK that we know now?
I think this is who he is.
Yeah.
I genuinely do.
Yep.
Like he's been an awesome pickup in one of my leagues, and I think he just carries on.
Yeah, I think it's just who JMK
He's
is.
he's very important to their attacking upside.
Just weird because it's not normally
hookers are a non like a bad word to Bennett. Like he hates them.
Hates
Well,
him.
for
Never go-
Supercoach.
Yeah. Remember what he did to Cookie? Like, it just killed him, yeah. So, okay, sweet. So, we can keep him.
Yep.
David Fafita, 4 100-plus games in a row now. 4 tries, 3 assists in 4 games. Can you please get up the Titans' strength of schedule in the finals? Because it is
I don't even have to look. It's fucking awful.
It's putrid. So, in my opinion, I'd be selling high on David Fafita right
So
now.
the Titans' strength of schedule as an overall team in the finals, so rounds 23 to 26, is the second worst in the league. Only second to the Panthers.
Yeah, right.
So, and he might be matchup proof.
He might be the exception, yeah.
But he ain't going to get 4 100
No,
plus.
like his attacking upside is what will kill him.
And this is
So
he's a perfect guy.
He'll
No.
be getting you 75.
Yep.
And you can almost bank on that this season.
Yeah.
But it's those 120 games that you just kiss goodbye.
The only thing I'd say about Fafita is that, yes, it's a hard matchup. I still think he'll get you 75s.
Yep.
I'm happy to say in 2 of those games he probably gets an attacking stat somewhere just because he's a juggernaut.
Yep.
I also think, though, Fafita, the advantage of him is that I think he will almost definitely, unless he's injured, he will be playing those weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think the Titans rest him. So I think that also needs to be taken into consideration because if you sell him, because there's only a handful of guys I would sell him for realistically.
So
But
rounds 23, 24, 25, 26. So 24, 25, 26, Sharks into Panthers into Storm.
Yep.
They are not easy sides defensively. Outside of that, so if you're around 27 grand final, it starts to become a bit better. Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think the Titans are going to be there and thereabouts. Still a chance to play
Oh,
finals.
I think if you were a captain's league, you might hold on to him. If you're not a captain's league, you might be able to trade David Fafita for 2 players that can
That's the play.
make your team a more well-rounded side.
Yeah.
I think like for a captain's league, he's a fantastic fallback captaincy option.
Well, he's been winning games for people for the last 4 rounds, like hands down.
The guy in my comp that's got Fafita has also got Hines. Like it's a captain's. Well, he's probably my biggest competition.
Are you a captain's league?
But the rest of his team's pretty bang average. Yeah. Yeah. The rest of his team, that's where I think we've got the 2 best teams. And
have you guys versed each other this season?
We have. It was a bye round, or guys were out, or there was something. I can't remember what happened.
Oh, it was like
but
Hines was on the bye or something.
I think it was my guys. He ended up winning, but I think we both scored about 850 or so. We both maybe
pretty
high,
decent.
I don't know. Yeah, he had the better team that week. He's got the ceiling. I think he's the only one that's got the ceiling to beat me.
Yeah.
Wow,
In
that's
our
a
competition.
sexy grand final.
Yeah. If we do. Yeah, I'll be very
Fireworks, baby.
disappointed if we.
Duking
And he's
it
the
out.
guy that I talk to the most. I could never trade with him.
Yes.
Never.
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
He's my wooker.
Yeah.
That ugly friend that just fucking doesn't know shit about Supercoach. He's actually played in 1 grand final as well, which is
And
cute.
lost it?
Yeah, lost it to me. So
Oh.
yeah.
All right, I've never
Shout
lost,
out to you,
never,
Stevie.
never lost any
Doing
of,
good
my, any of
things.
my grand finals to Natty. So.
Any of your grand finals, how many have they been?
Did you say grand finals? Oh, you know you've been in
Plural,
one?
you've been in 1.
Who?
You've only been in 1.
Grand finals means you've been in more than 1 grand final.
Lost to Breno
Yeah, 1.
and JK.
You lost to JK in a grand final.
I thought you'd only been to 1 grand final.
Cody Walker, mate. Cody Walker
I thought
scored
it was
200.
a finals. I thought it was a finals game.
Oh,
That was a
a
grand
GF,
final.
my friend.
Oh, even
Oh,
worse.
so you've been to 2 grand finals?
And lost
Yeah.
both.
Oh, well done, buddy.
You're right there. You're right there, Sniffles.
Now I feel sorry for him. I thought it was only 1 that
I
you
thought it was
lost.
only 1 too. I think you've told me it was only 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because he doesn't have a fucking Scooby.
Damn it, mate.
He rage quits as soon as he gets out in the finals.
Doesn't happen very often. I'm usually all the way, baby.
Yeah.
All right, who else we got?
So let's look at the 2 camps that everyone's in at the moment, right? So you've all got the guys that are humming, Guru and I just cruising, and obviously got guys that are struggling.
Cruising, you're 4th.
Like Walker. I'm 3rd, bro.
Oh, what? Oh, fucking hell.
Get your facts
Splitting
straight.
hairs.
Get your facts straight before you come at me. 8th. So obviously guys that are
call me
cruising,
Joey, mate.
and if you're cruising and you have players in your side that have the bye in your grand final, you need to start getting rid of them now. Because, and we keep saying this and we harp onto it, and Guru, we were talking about it earlier in the green room, the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for you, right?
Yeah.
And for example, and this would be across the board, if your grand final is round 27 and you've got Parramatta players, especially Dylan Brown and Mitch Moses, who are fucking killing it at the moment, you're probably saying, there's no way I'm getting rid of him. But every week that gets closer to the finals, their value is going to plummet, because when you go to sell them, when you're like, okay, well, I don't need them because obviously I'm going to be in the grand final, and you go to sell Dylan Brown, you go, look, he's got an average of 90, and the guy that you're selling him to goes, yeah, but he's not playing the grand final, so I'll trade you a 60 average player.
Yeah.
And that's what will happen. And on the other side of the coin here, guys that are struggling, that need wins, now's the time to target the guys that do have the bye in your grand final, because they're going to be more easily attainable.
Yes.
If you go to people in your league that are, especially the guys that are cruising, and you go, you don't need Dylan Brown, you're going to be in the grand final. You start stroking the ego, but I need him now because the Eels have got a good run. You might get Dylan Brown on the cheap. You might get, if your grand final's around 26, you might get a Latrell on the cheap, a Cody Walker on the cheap.
And they're the type of players that will get you to the GF.
100.
Which all you have to do is get there.
And who the fuck cares about them not playing the grand final if you're worried about even making the finals?
Yeah. If you just get there, it's a bonus, and then you just work the way.
Fully. Like, just get to the finals and worry about it then.
Because that's the other thing I think that people need to keep in mind. Like, even if you do have these Parramatta players, it's not ideal to have them come grand final week, but there will be so many guys rested. And you're only competing with one other person on the waiver wire.
Yep.
So there's so many good guys to pick from there. So many guys that are taking opportunity to show what they can do. They're having a red hot crack. A lot of defenses have fucking switched off for the year.
Because you could look, if like Panthers and Sharks have absolutely banked their grand final spot, and they banked their spot on the ladder, Hines and Cleary could just be rested. It's a genuine risk.
100%.
And like someone who waltzes into the GF with a half decent team, no massive guns, could come and burgle the victory.
Oh, it sounds like something I could do.
It sounds like the season of fucking Natty so far.
Sounds like something I could do this year.
Yeah.
So now's the time there should be a lot of chat for trades at the moment. And these buy rounds in the finals should be creating a lot of player movement. Guys lower in the ladder should be stocking up on guys that have buys in grand finals because they don't care. And guys that are up top of the ladder should be getting rid of those guys because they do care. It's as simple as that. There's two camps. Figure out which camp you are and fucking go shopping.
And also just keep an eye on when guys flip to the other camp.
Yeah.
When you see that panic stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then make him.
Oh, whatever.
Mate, in all honesty, that's the main thing I do. I look at the ladder and I look at who's struggling, and as soon as I look at it and go,
It's the desperado line.
Shit, this guy's just copped 2 injuries on the weekend. Time to pounce.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I've already had all my injuries this season.
You've been very lucky with bets
Yeah,
too. The thing
that's true.
I will say, and I don't give him
That's
props.
not lucky, mate. I've been betting
I
hard.
don't give him props a lot, but he's usually very scared of betting.
I've been
This
betting
year-
the hardest I've ever betted. Harder than
If you
anyone
would-
else's
If
betting.
you would let me continue, I'm about to.
Weirdest flex I've ever
I'm
heard.
about to give you props.
I've been
I'm
betting
about to say
hard.
this is the best you've ever bet, and look at your team. Like this is the first year I've actually seen you fucking grow a pair, have a dig, and bet, and look at your team. It's
Yeah, look,
humming.
it's the best team in the comp, as you said.
I never said it was the best team in the comp.
You pretty much said it was the best team in the comp.
No, I said it was the best team at this table. I can't say that with the team that has
Debatable.
Turbo and Cleary though.
In that, that's the best. Your team
That is
your team
that
is the best
redonkulous stat.
team here, and you're a 14-man league.
I know. It's fucked. It's great. Love it.
I'd fucking hate you too.
Yeah, no,
would.
I hate
really
me.
would.
I get it. Fetches. What do we got?
So, Roosters players, they just interest me because they're the lowest they've ever been.
Is anyone looking to
Such a-
pick up Teddy after that State of Origin debacle?
Well, exactly. Do you get him really low now? Like, that's the thing. It's Teddy.
And he hasn't I think Hayes Barham, who we mentioned before, is outscoring him
Yeah.
the season long average.
But that's what I mean. Do you get him on the fucking cheapest you've ever... That's what I'm asking the question here. There's so many players, the Roosters, that just pose so much value, but is it worth even going for them?
I don't have any of them, and I'm stoked. I've got Stillian. Actually, I've got a few now, but I didn't draft any of them, and I was more than happy.
Like even Manu's sitting at a low average for him. Angus Crichton, like at the moment.
Yeah, see, like before when you said, I've got Joey Manu the ceiling, I'm not convinced he's going to be that guy this year. I'm very nervous.
fucking
He's
hope.
he's played how many games at 5'8", and he's filled in a couple of times at fullback. What were his scores?
That's the thing that sort of fucks you. In order to get Sam Walker back, you have to sort of lower Joey Manu.
Joey Manu then slides back into that 45.
Which sucks because Joey Manu can drop and Sam Walker can play mad and still get...
In saying that, he did,
70,
at centre last year, did average 74, Joey.
When playing solely centre.
Solely
they're
centre.
playing rat shit at the moment. They're not
Yeah,
scoring
and
points.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the Roosters. Roosters
and that's
squad
why
as a whole.
that's why all of them are suffering.
Yeah.
Is because the Roosters are just not clicking. And if they don't click...
That's centre. He averaged 74.
Yep.
I think there were a couple of there were. Like
I did the
there were a handful of games at fullback that he played as well.
Yeah, but are you saying just the centre
Just
game?
centre. Remember when we did the stats?
Oh, yeah.
So obviously he averaged fucking 100 and something in other
But
positions.
they were attacking real heavily down the right side that year.
And he had that roaming license and doing whatever he fucking liked. But he had a ridiculous season last season, which is not this year. But I've sort of just doubled down. Like I need Roosters to go well for my team to go well. So I've just gone, fuck it, I'll double down. I'll get Joey Manu.
He was the International Player of the Year, wasn't he?
Remember that fucking game he played at fullback for the Kiwis? Like he's something special. Anyway, I need him to be that guy, please. But we're talking about fetches. TPJ. So before he got picked for Origin, what did he have? A 75-point game, something like that, mid-70s, and it was all in base. He didn't even have any offloads or nothing.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how this all impacts TPJ.
Yeah.
I can't see him being picked for the next game.
Nor can I, and that's what I think it'll be very interesting to see how it all affects
And
TPJ.
it'd be interesting. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he responds to that.
Because as much as I wouldn't pick him, I did think it was really shit what Freddie did.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to rattle him quite a bit.
You use him. You try to use him as effectively.
If you
as
pick
possible.
him, you know he's going to make mistakes. You know he's going to come up with shit offloads, but he's
like
the
a
chance
big
to...
head noise type guy.
Yeah, I think he... And I know for a fact TPJ's had a lot going on in his life last few years, so there's a bit more to it. But it'll be interesting to see how it does impact him over the next few weeks. So, once again, I wouldn't have picked him, but I think the way that Freddie went about it was pretty poor.
I think there were a few
Freddie's got that in him,
interchanges and
unfortunately.
things like that didn't make a lot of sense.
Cam Murray?
So
Like, what's he averaging? It's putrid.
fucking
It's
awful.
rank.
I think it's below
Putrid.
50 or something. It's terrible.
Do we believe that gets better? Like,
I think I was looking the other day because he was the guy in my comp. He went Hines for feeder Murray, his draft pick. So
Ouch.
yeah, so like after it drops off a cliff after those two big dogs. But yeah, Murray. I was looking at his stats the other day. I think it's something like 5 of his last 6 games have been sub 50 or something.
yeah.
And it's the game style has changed a lot with how they're getting around the field, and that's one of the big things. Like Cook, he's been playing well, but normally when Cook plays well, it's off the back of Murray.
You
and
have
Murray's
to
played
think
the balls.
that gets better.
I personally think it's going to get worse. I think when Havili comes in, post Origin, they don't have to win games. They're going to be locked into the top 4, in my opinion. I don't see them grinding Cam Murray into the dirt.
ago,
He's
I
also
made a
going to
play
not
for
play in the
Murray.
prelim final or the grand final.
It's wild. Isn't it, Cam Murray?
I think he should be on the other list personally.
Yeah,
That is
a month
fucking
ago, I made a play for Cam Murray in our league and didn't get legs.
Good.
Wow.
But I am so stoked that didn't go through.
Wow.
Because he's just gotten worse and worse.
I
each
wouldn't
week.
be going near Cam Murray.
In SuperCoach, outside of SuperCoach, he's been doing his job. But yeah, he's almost SuperCoach irrelevant, especially because he's just the 2RF.
Yeah.
So many better options this season.
The other guy, big Mo Fodawaker, at the moment 56 average, but I'm just sort of getting his stats up now. But in the last 4 games, like we said, he's been in the 60s. He will end up with an average of 60 to 65 if it continues this way. He's got a 3-round average of 65.
His season's rolled out, like I was saying before, his season's rolled out exactly the same as Jack DeBellin's. Started slow and has just gone from strength to strength.
Like he hasn't gone sub 55 in 7 weeks now.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, like that 56 average, which you would
His
use
minutes
that,
are consistent.
you would use that number to fetch him. You would go, well, at 56 average.
And in the front row forward spot this season, it is like fucking gold.
What about his base the last 2 weeks? 66, 2 weeks in a row.
He's unbelievable. He is fucking obviously, since I've got him in, I'm watching him very closely. And he has a huge engine. He goes all fucking day. All day. So, yeah, there'll be a point where he'll be unattainable. His average will be well into the 60s. But at the moment, with that mid-50s average, I think he's a great fetch.
And I reckon he'd be a classic guy. We just spoke about Fafita not having the upside the back end of the season. Mo Fodawaker versus Sharks, Panthers, Melbourne, Canterbury. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Check out every day of the
Week middles, yeah. 100%. That's about it. You got anyone else? KP's a good fetch if you want to take a dance.
KP's
Gamble.
a bit of a,
Yep.
bit of a
Take a
gamble.
dance because we've seen how good he can be when he's healthy.
Back at fullback now, which helps.
Yeah, 100. 100.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know what you're getting into with KP. Could win you a comp, could lose you a comp.
Yep.
I mean, if you got Turbo and Cleary, it's a different story, but it could win you a comp, could lose you a comp.
I can't argue with it. It's a good team.
Yeah.
I know it's a good team. I'm well aware it's a good team.
Actually, fucking retract my last statement. It is unfair that he made that trade. It's very unfair. And look, reach out, guys, because I feel for you. He's an absolute tyrant.
All right, let's have a look
There
at...
needs to be an investigation.
Did you... I'm bloking a bar the other day.
Word for word.
Oh, mate, unbelievable.
Word for word.
And I wasn't paying attention, and Tim fucking freaked out. He lost his
And
mind.
the fact that Tim freaked out that quick, I was like, get a hobby, Tim.
Yeah.
Wow. Get a hobby.
I'm making the pilgrimage to Jared Croker's 300th game.
Oh,
next
my
Friday
God,
in
are
Canberra.
you?
Going to go to
And
Moosehead.
sitting near
Wow.
Tim, are ya?
You got to pack.
Yeah, I'm going down there with Tim.
You're gonna have to
another
pack
mate.
your skivvies.
I'm actually
Holy
going
moly.
down there with the mate who owns Nico Hines and Fafita, so that's going to be a long car
Oh,
trip. But
what
we
a
might
night.
get our first trade over the
Gonna
line.
be a
you
great,
never know.
gonna be a great night.
I hope so.
Gonna be a
Who
great
do they
night.
play? I think they play the Warriors, I want to say.
Was.
Huge.
So, yeah.
What an atmosphere that's gonna be.
It's going to be electric.
Yep.
Jared Croker's 300. Can I ask you two, a little bit off topic, but Jared Croker resting this week?
Hurts
What are your
for
thoughts on it?
classic teams.
What are your thoughts on you just play on, you don't care?
I think it's a good move.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like
What,
it.
what's
I
what's
really
different
like
to
it.
resting? Resting
Yeah,
players
I
for
don't know.
Origin stuff?
I'm just interested to hear different perspectives.
Yeah, I like it. They're just thinking about Jared first, I guess.
Yeah.
And they probably had a conversation about
I
it.
think it's less about Jared and more about the club.
Wanting
And-
to celebrate Jared, is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
celebrate
yeah,
the 300.
yeah.
It's not. It's less about like Jared just reaching that milestone. It's more
I'm
about.
hoping they're going to let Timmy Williams blow the horn at the home game.
Is that a real possibility?
I highly doubt it.
If he doesn't blow the horn, he'll probably blow Croker. To be fair,
One of the two.
One of them's gonna happen that night. One of those
or
two
both,
things.
or both. To be fair, let's not write off both.
All right, let's rip into some free agents. Now, your free agents that you've got listed here, they are guys that are owned by under 35%. What's that in most comps?
No, this is across all comps.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so across all leagues, we set it in two different levels. We do a waiver wire post each week, and we go. Our normal waiver picks are under 35 ownership, and then for the deep leagues, we have under 25% ownership.
I will give you both a guess. There is one player on that list of 10 guys or whatever it is that is available in my comp right now.
So
Who do you reckon
yeah,
it is?
I would say
Harrison Edwards.
It is not Harrison Edwards.
I would say maybe Jaden Sullivan because of
It
how
is
well,
Jaden
how
Sullivan. He got
poorly he's
dropped this
played.
week.
Yeah.
Just hit the free agency, Bud Sullivan.
I mean, like he's got potential and stuff, but look, the rise of Little and the fact that they're not splitting up.
Little was on the waiver the other night. I wanted him.
Was he
so
actually?
desperately.
Wow.
He would have sold a few things for you.
Yeah, because someone needed wins in the buy.
Yeah.
He hit it. I was very keen on him. I didn't get anywhere near him, but I was very keen on him. Very keen to have a punt on him.
The two big names that I want to talk about here, under 35%, Corey Oates. He has to be nearing a return, getting
Yep.
close.
Yep.
And for the under 25%, Luke Metcalf, who looked very solid in his return to the NRL. The other thing about Luke Metcalf that I worry about is how dominant they are on the right. But to get 35 SuperCoach points,
Where do you think
really
he fits
doing
him
it.
Tamara Martin comes back.
That's the problem. I don't think he does fit in.
How
think he'll be
far
on the
off
bench at
is
best.
Tamara Martin? He's still a few weeks away. Isn't he?
Yeah, I would say he's probably. I think he's coming back after their bye. Have they got a bye this weekend?
No.
The weekend after?
Possibly, yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, they play the Raiders next week. Then they've got a bye, and then Tamare returns. So, and I think it's his jersey.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
they've got
that's
the next big
Short-term play.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
Metcalf would have got in, and like he was good on the weekend, but he wasn't fantastic.
Yep.
And defensively, they worry about him.
Okay.
So I actually don't think Metcalf, as much as I love Metcalf, and I was keen to have a punt on him 5 or 6 weeks ago, I just don't think it's played out in the right fashion. He's going to have to really brain it the next 2 weeks. I'm not convinced there's anything he can do to get that jersey off Tamare.
Yeah, I mean,
Personally.
Tamara was playing so well before his injury.
He's very good. Yeah. So
And I'm a bit disappointed that he left for Bronx, but you can understand, like, he had the opportunity and...
Metcalf's a gun.
I thought for a long time that there was a good chance they'd move Chance to centre maybe, and he might get a shot at fullback. But also,
Chance has
don't think
played
that's gonna
very
play
well.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's played
yeah.
too well, Chance. So I just, poor old Lukey Metcalf. I think he's just going to have a career of musical chairs where the music just does not fucking stop.
Yeah.
I'm excited for next season with him. Like, RTS coming in.
I reckon there's a really good chance he
potentially another
plays centre.
season with
I think that's the plan
Yeah.
for him to play centre, yeah.
So he'll be very interesting draft day. He'll be the most interesting guy on draft day. Probably him and Pappy.
Yeah. He could effectively play the same as
You're
like
going to
a
get
Holmes.
back-to-back Pappy, I reckon.
Have to. If I miss out on him getting any scores, it just has to happen.
I think Pappy's going to be in my list of never draft again.
Ooh.
Big call.
Wow.
But we'll see.
Brad Burns.
Adam Dewey would be up there for me.
Don't touch ever. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep this moving along.
Yes.
Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a big podcast coming out soon, and we're going to smash heaps of finals content. We're going to go through the strength of schedule finals. We're going to go through the specific grand final matchup stats for round 25, 26, and 27. So we're going to just do a little bit of a tease here and just talk about a couple of guys that Wook likes in those grand finals, because what we want to do is we want to give the matchup stats for those games really early so people can prep for those grand finals rather than do it the week of and it's too late.
And normally we would go through them probably a month out, but we're doing an early look through just to give people a chance to look through waivers, try to get a trade across the line, start to get the coals in the fire just to tease those.
So remember, we'll do a full podcast about this, and all of these stats are available on the Patreon, Weekly Rubdown Stats. Just Google it.
So
it's all there for you.
By the time this comes out, we'll have already posted on Patreon a post for the strength of schedule specifically for the form at the moment for flip and fetch for rounds 20, 25, 26 and 27, and then the matchup sheets looking forward at round 25, 26 and 27 for those specific grand finals.
Look at this.
So,
Look at this. Look at that. Fucking beautiful.
All right.
These are color coded. Fucking woo. Unbelievable.
Already got the picks there.
He knows his gear.
Circled. Yeah.
So
exactly.
give us a couple of players in each grand final that you like to fetch.
All right. So firstly, I'll go through some of the key matches where I think a fair few points will be scored, and then I'll go into top 3 attainable targets for each of those grand finals. So in the first one, there's a lot of high-scoring teams coming up against a low-scoring team, poor defensive teams. So Sharks v Cows, Titans v Panthers, Dragons v Storm, and Knights v Bunnies, and this is all in round 25. Out of those and a couple of other games, the top 3 attainable targets, just based purely on their matchups, is Sione Katoa versus the Cows, Tessie New versus the Tigers, with Nofo marking up against him, and Matty Moylan, your boy,
Moisa.
versus the Cows. Hasn't he had a great season?
Just in general, his career turnaround. I'm so happy for Moisa, and I have not had a single slice of good Moisa in SuperCoach, but I am so happy for him.
Yeah. It's a really good comeback story for how dogged he has had with injuries and stuff like
I
that.
forget how much I drafted Moisa. Every year Yeah.
Oh, we
It's
used to
good to
give
have
you-
you guys around to remind
We
me.
used to give you shit every time.
Yes, I recall.
It
Yeah.
was,
I think he was part of the shit show of that other draft.
It was
comp I was in.
bankable. It was bankable, yeah.
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 Good times.
All right.
I'm loyal. You can't deny.
So obviously with round 25, Broncos have the bye, so you wouldn't want to be targeting any of those players. Moving on to round 26, we've got the Bunnies on the bye. This one does seem like it's going to be a lower scoring affair, a lot of like lower statistical matchups. The ones that do stand out though are Storm and Titans, the Knights and Sharks, and the Raiders and Broncos. But this will be leading into the back end of the season, and I do think that the Raiders and possibly the Broncos will be trying to eke out a top 8 spot or a top 4 spot. So I do think that this one may be a bit lower scoring. But the top 3 attainable targets would be Jermaine Asako stands out massively, but really he's not attainable because only an idiot would trade him out.
Who would
really.
give him up? He's a weapon.
Herbie Farnsworth.
And like in all honesty, if someone is trading out Jermaine Asako, you need to look at that trade with a fine. Just look at it.
Say it again.
Go through a fine
there
tooth
needs
comb.
to be an investigation. Herbie Farnsworth
what a
versus knock it up.
I'm glad we're all enjoying this.
Yes, massively.
I am.
So Herbie playing the Raiders, he'll be marking up against Timoko, and we've seen Tusk get the better of him and a few other defensive frailties. He is a really good pickup. Obviously, he has the bye the round before, so he might be an easy one to get across the line. Sifa Talakai, and he's one that stands out for both round 26 and 27. He's marking up against Gags this game against the Knights. Gagai has had some of his own defensive issues this season, so he's definitely a really good pickup for this round. And Willie Warbrick, who's going to be available on a lot of waivers. The Brick. He's up against the Titans and AKP on that wing. So
Billy Brick.
AKP, that's a name I haven't heard of.
Yeah, Cam Pereira.
You did.
Imagine if I would have drafted anyone else.
You did wonders for his career because
Tell
as
me
soon
about
as
it.
you dropped him,
Yeah, he killed it.
He absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
Scores a try and scores 27. And then into round 27. So this is going to be another low scoring one, but there's a bunch of matchups here that do stand out. There's going to be mass restings. We know that. It's just who they're going to be, we just don't know yet. So Dolphins versus Warriors, I think this one's going to be a points affair on both sides. Panthers v Cows, this one could go either way because there could be mass restings if Panthers have already got the job done. But like you mentioned before, Guru, if Cleary is looking for that Dally M, he may be playing even if Ivan doesn't want him to. Dragons v Knights, there is going to be no defence in that game. Titans v Bulldogs, I think it's going to be a similar affair. Out of those, the top 3 attainable targets, Jacob Carraz, marking up against AKP again.
I love that.
Sifa Talakai, marking up against Timoko. And Billy Kicks as a bit of a specky versus the Titans. So he's going to be available on waivers.
With Billy Kicks, I believe he's actually, I think they've been saying around 20.
Yep.
I think he's a little bit later.
Oh, really?
I think you're looking at closer to 23, 24. Could be wrong. It's a long way away looking to happen, but I think he's a little bit further. That's why I also think...
And they may not rush him back if Ockenbaugh starts to go well, and we know that
probably not going
Preston's
to be
going well.
competing for finals.
They don't need to.
Yeah, so if that's right, I think Ockenball could be a nice little grab because I think he is a little bit further away than what was first advertised.
One name that keeps coming up there, boys.
Sifa Talakai.
Sifa Talakai.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a huge pickup. And if we take out Billy Kicks as my specky pick, Stephen Crichton stands out like dog's balls. So the Cows have been leaking a lot of points through Holmes's edge, specifically at the centre spot. So yeah, the most in the league to the left, to the right centre.
That's the other thing that could be interesting with that Panthers side. Depending on where they finish and if they'll have a home final or whatever, that last round could be a bit of a farewell for Critter.
Could be.
In which case, they'll all play.
Yeah.
They'll all be there. So there's a
that's
few
true.
factors going to... And I'm obviously very glass half full because I need Nath to play. So I'm thinking of every possible
As you are with all the
reason.
players that you talk about that are in your SuperCoach Draft
Yes,
side.
correct. Yes.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that you had Cleary on your side.
All right.
Yeah.
Time for Patreon plug and play now. So
Here we go.
3 out of 4 so far, obviously starting with the great Braden Burns, the new fullback of the Canterbury Bulldogs. But yeah, so each week we go through the stats and I try and show you guys how to use those stat sheets that are available on the Weekly Rubdown Patreon and how to narrow those stats down to one player and how to pick a guy that we think will score above 80 Supercoach points, which means they are captain worthy, but also someone you can whack in for an ATS. So anytime try score, whack them in same game multis or bet on them as a standout. So the game that I really like this week that's tickling my taint is the Bunnies Titans. And if you look at the two team sheets here, you can see quite clearly that the Titans are weak on their right edge defense. Bunnies are strong on their left now. So they're starting to look like the Bunnies of old, slinging the ball down the left more often than not. So Bunnies scoring 59 Supercoach points per player per game on average. Titans conceding 56 points per player per game. You right, bro? Jesus.
I'm just getting the stats out, mate. I'm following you. I'm following you with the stats.
Have a look at this. How good is he? 56.
Is that
Conceding
your favourite
56.
ice cream flavours?
Pretty much, yeah.
But the big thing to take
Love
away
bubblegum.
with these two sheets is the Bunnies are scoring on average 1.8 tries a game down their left edge. Titans are conceding 1.8 tries a game on average to left edge attacks. So if you look at the rankings for the edges, you've got the Titans right. They're conceding the 4th most Supercoach points. Bunnies left, conceding the 3rd most. This matchup just gets better and better. You're going to love this being a Cody Walker owner, actually. Practice that one in the mirror. So it actually is the best left edge matchup of the round, the Bunnies, right? Going to the position ranking, Titans are conceding the most points to, you guessed it, left halves. And when you look at those stat sheets and you see a green box with red font, that is a raging hard-on of a matchup. That's what that means. It means it's fucking fantastic. And that's what Cody Walker has next to his name. He has the best matchup among 5'8" and left halves and a top 3 matchup for round 14 itself. If you look at the season-long stat sheet, it's all over. If you look at the 6-round average, it's a little bit less, but that's because the Titans haven't played 5'8" or left halves at the caliber that Cody Walker is at the moment. Love him to score.
They've also been playing right dominant teams as well, and that's led into that.
So we think he scores above 80. You can captain him this week. That is for sure. Also, the Titans are leaking the 2nd most tries to left halves exclusively. So he is paying $2.10 for an anytime try scorer. Whack him in there in your same game multis. That's our boy.
Money for old rope.
Who was your one that flopped? You said your 3.
Penasini.
Penasini, he still scored mid-60s.
And he fucking looked good. Like
I love that you hold yourself to that standard that a 60 is a failure, boys. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, we say every week we say it has to get 80 for
It's
a
the goal.
Yeah. Have to score a try and get 80.
Should have this sort of accountability for Wook's team.
Well, it just would never happen because he lives in fairyland.
He holds me to that standard, but I'm a bit more lenient.
Now, the other thing I want to throw at you boys is we're all fucking jerking each other off here. We love our teams. Let's put a bit of money behind this. Let's run a little bit of a competition here.
Yep.
Now, obviously, we're running different setups, but if we play with our 14-team setup with 10 and 4 on the bench, that means that you, Guru, you have to drop 3 guys that you won't be using.
4 guys.
4 guys. 4 guys that you won't be using, and then you can just rotate from there.
So I have to pick my guys that are dropping out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 4-week contest. We'll scrap round 16 because it's a major bye. So it's actually 5 weeks, but 4 scoring rounds, and then we'll come back on the wire here. $50 buy-in.
Yep. Sounds good.
And
I'm obviously at a huge disadvantage, but I'll take his on. That's fine.
You do have the best team here.
No, I'm well
You've
aware
spent
of that.
2 hours telling us that.
You were telling us about that.
Yeah. Now it's all like beep, beep, beep.
You know what? This might actually suit me
Oh, here we go.
because I obviously have more CTWs
But
than you guys.
you do need to play. Well, we'd be playing with 2 CTWs and 2 2RFs.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yep.
Right. I like it. Give him a pay up, then change the rules. I'll back that. That's good. Good on you,
And
boys.
one hooker.
Oh, which of my top 10 CTWs will I pick?
So yeah, so your
I don't want to pick a hooker.
Your starting team will be the same as our.
It's actually not a
on-field.
bad week it's not a bad time to pick Sonny Luke if I have to, compared to the other shit times where it's been awful. To
Do you think there's a world where they rest Yo and play like Kenny or someone?
Fucking hope so.
lock?
Fuck, I hope so.
Are you banking on that?
That's what I was told, but whether it happens or not, God knows.
Yo's the Terminator. They're not resting him.
Did Yo play 80 the other night?
I think so.
Fuck knows, honestly. I've got no idea with Sonny Luke.
Well, tell us who you cancel.
So, okay, so I have to pick a hooker. Is that right?
Well, you just have to get rid of 4 players.
Okay. So I will get rid of Havili.
Yep.
Write this down.
Yeah, can you write down the guys I'm fucking
Oh,
off?
I don't have a pen.
Yeah, you have a-
You see those little buttons on your computer?
Yeah.
Can we get him a stone to carve into? I will
Tablet,
drop
mate. A tablet.
Havili.
Yep.
I will drop Satili Tupanua.
Yep.
I will drop Sebastian Chris.
I love that call.
And how many CTWs do I need?
You only need to play two, but
two
you can
playing.
cycle through however many you want.
Okay. I will then substitute. Fuck. Actually, I'll let you guys choose. My last options: Montoya, Tony Staggs, Billy Smith. I'll give you another little advantage. Which one do you want me to take out?
I think you need as much help as you can get.
No, mate. I've already spent this $100 from you too, fucking Derek.
Who's got the best? Fuck off. Billy Smith might be.
No, I reckon Stags.
Yeah, drop Stags.
Drop Staggs.
Drop Stags.
Sure, he was my throwaway in my trade last week, so that's fine. So Staggs out. Okay.
Well, I think
You actually took the opportunity to pick which one I dropped, even though I'm in a 14-man league, world against me.
I think that
I was just joking
Robbo-
around, but that's
I
fine.
will bury you in this.
I think Robbo might.
I would have taken
We're
it off
on,
you too
bro.
as well.
Like
that's
I'm
fair.
not. I'm not playing here. There's no.
And I think I've got 2 players that you've got.
And
I think I've got 2 that
Natty's
you've got as well.
Natty's playing with fucking 13 anyway.
Yeah, I'm up a bit against it, but fuck it. Let's go.
Oh, Pappy, of course. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got KP and Turbo, so.
And I've got Brian Kelly.
And Turbo's out this week.
Wait,
and
so
next
if we
week.
make waivers over the next few weeks, does it just count as the ones that are there right this week?
So, if you make waivers for the teams, so those guys are gone. You'd have to get rid of one of your players that are live, and whoever you bring in is the person you bring in.
If you trade out one of the players that you're keeping there
Yeah.
for someone else, then
It's a straight swap.
it's a straight swap.
Okay, cool.
But if you drop Havili for someone else, that doesn't count.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Sweet. So who have I got out? Satili, Havili, Chris,
Yep.
and Stags.
Yep.
Havili,
So-
Satili, Chris, and
so
Stags.
each week you just have to pick your starting team.
Okay,
10.
cool.
And we'll track it to see where we all stand, and then
How many second row forwards do I need to pick each week? Is it two? Oh, easy. Fuck.
Well, you got 8 to pick from, so
yeah.
should be fine.
He had 10, but
Yep. Well, that's a little bit of healthy competition. And then we come back in a month. We'll obviously have a winner, and then we'll talk about SuperCoach Survivor. Now that is a little bit of a tease, people, because that is
the best, the pinnacle of SuperCoach.
That is the second best game behind SuperCoach itself.
Might have made a mistake because Seb Chris
We
is still in
don't
position.
care.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I deserve that.
no.
But anyway,
Look, that's why I said Seb Chris. I love that call.
yeah, that hurts.
Yep.
I thought you were being genuine when that happened too, so hurts even more. All right, are we done?
We're done. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're
Fucking
done, mate.
sick of
We're
both
done.
of you. Make sure you go to the Weekly Rubdown. You can go check out their Patreon. $5 a month, cheap as chips. If you don't have everything they're providing, I don't know what you do. Oh, Jesus fucking
peanut.
Christ. Are
Can
you for
just
real?
Why'd you print them out at like A1000?
This is a Sydney Morning Herald of Supercoach, man.
Did you expect to have some fucking easel up here? You
No,
were
I
gonna put
was,
them on.
I was referring to him as we were going through, so it was all
love that.
good.
That's
yeah, sorry.
Carnival game there, just cans falling fucking everywhere.
It's just fucking awful.
All
Sorry.
right, it's been a pleasure as always. Thanks for coming in, Natty. Appreciate having
Yeah,
you
no,
here.
I'll be back.
Cheers, Will. I'm sure Kempy will be stoked to turn the place upside down. We will be back in about a month or so. We'll see how that competition is going. I'm sure we'll give it a plug on a podcast before
sure.
then? Probably?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Have a little
Yep.
catch up, see how we
Definitely.
are travelling. Best of luck with your waivers, your captains, all of the above. Up the Blues.
Up the
Oh, fuck, are you a
Maroons.
Queenslander too? Are you both Queenslanders? Mm-hmm. Oh, rank. All right, we'll see you later.